get your votes in. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. The show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards.
And we are live, Mr. Montaldo.
Wait, what happened there, man?
See,
what y'all did, man? Come on, we got to put the commercials back on. Get back in the box, Michael. Get back in the box. Oh yeah, guys, I'm putting y'all back on. Hold on a second.
It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. The show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards is The Outer Realm. And that's in the category of Best Female Hosted Podcast. The Outer Realm is a popular show hosted by Michelle DeRoche and Amelia Pisano, which has millions of listeners each week. They are well known for their laid-back, roundtable style of interviewing. Together, this dynamic duo brings you the best of the best with guests from around the world who are well-versed within their respective fields of ufology. It's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcast. There's a show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards, UFO Undercover, in the category of entertainment. This show brings you some of the most revealing and current research that is being done with respect to alien abductions and contact. Host Joe Montaldo has been an abduction researcher for over 35 years and is uniquely qualified to bring you live interviews with some of the most well-known researchers in ufology. So go to podcastawards.com and nominate UFO Undercover in the category of entertainment. All right, everybody, it is that time of year again. It's time for you to get out and nominate for your favorite podcast. The show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards is The Centralist in the category of politics and news. The Centralist is a much different news and political program which is not deemed as opinion news. Listen as Joe Montaldo brings you just the facts from trusted sources, which will allow you to make up your own minds on the various stories being reported on. So go to podcastawards.com to nominate The Centralist in the category of politics and news. And that's podcastawards.com. Take a moment, go and vote, and as Joe would say, come on guys, vote, vote, get out there, vote. What you waiting for?
As my dear friend Emily said, get your ass out and vote. This show's up for an award, so get out there and vote. You got 2 days left, 29. Oh, you got 3 days. Well, technically 2 and a piece. The 31st is the end of voting, so midnight on the 31st, you can no longer vote for your favorite shows on this network. And we do have 5 shows up, so Michael and I would like an award. That's right. I want an award. Michael wants an award he can put behind.
You got to vote, and also you got to support us, man. You got to give us money, and Joe and I need a Rolls Royce, at least something like that, a Phantom or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll settle for a Tesla. Wait, no, Tesla don't have a gas powered. Never mind.
That electric stuff scares me, man.
Wait, let's just start off with this right off the bat. Look, so guys, I got a question for everyone who lives in a really cold climate and in the Gulf South. Okay, if you live in the heartland, this probably doesn't apply to you. So you buy your Tesla, hurricane comes, no power for 3 weeks. Wait. I mean, what? Your Tesla's a rock, people. It's a paperweight. Yep. And I love Tesla and I love Elon Musk, but it is a freaking paperweight. You can get gasoline. You can go to some place and get 55-gallon drums and stuff like that. So you can get gas, but you ain't getting electricity to get your car. Oh, maybe you got a generator. You might, but you got to have that generator hooked up to that Tesla system. And generators are funky little things that could really mess up the electronics in that sensitive car. So I don't know, people. I think you got a paperweight is what I think. And
the generator would have to have the right resistors and whatever. You can't just charge an electric. It's not like, plug.
No, you got to hook it up to the Tesla system. They got a system. Yeah. You can't even hook your house up. So that's got to be hooked up properly so it'll charge your car properly so there's not problems. And then even if you get it charged, you wait 9 to 22 hours to charge your car. Come on. So, people, I'm getting ready to go up to Fan Fest in Utah, Salt Lake City at the end of September. So I'm going to drive up because it's a beautiful drive, and and we're just going to go up and enjoy the night skies and all on the way up. So I'm going to get my car. I'm going to fuel my car. Well, I'm going to rent a car because I ain't going to drag my car across the country. But I'll probably get something like a Lexus or maybe a Camry, something nice.
Make sure it doesn't have Jersey plates this time.
No New York plates, no Colorado plates, no New York plates because I got to drive through Texas. So no plates like that. That shit's not going to be in my car. Louisiana, I'll actually request Louisiana plates or Mississippi plates because they won't harass me in Texas then. Anyway, we're gonna drive up. And it's a great drive because you can drive up, and I know a couple of different routes, so we can go up through Colorado or come back through Colorado. And there's some beautiful mountains to drive through up there. Speed limit's like 90, so it's great. Only downside to the mountain side of the ride is there's no internet and no radio. So the best thing you can do is swipe your music on your phone to your car and drive your little heart away, because that's the only thing you can get to listen to for a couple of hours. But lots of deer, lots of rabbits all over the place on this trip, but lots of beautiful country, lots of beautiful skies. If you smoke marijuana, you're going to cross through 2 states where it's legal, one where it's completely recreational, so you can just have a good old time there. And even in Utah, I think they let you smoke now. So it's just a fuddy-duddy state.
No,
it might not be Utah, yeah. Utah, well, hey, Mormons need to get high.
Utah is a holdout. Hard to even find good coffee in Utah, but Mormon stuff.
I forgot where we were. I was up there speaking at the Utah UFO conference a couple of years back. And the hotel we stayed at, everything was themed out, and everybody there were Mormons. Everybody who worked there, where they had the whole entire gig to get out, everything they wore. I was like, at first I thought, so I asked the guy at the desk, I said, well, it's just like costumes and where you dress. He said, no, everybody here is actually a Mormon. I'm like, okay. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, because Joe was telling me how hot this one was. I said, well, you better go there and tell her. He said, you think they're sneaking watching our TVs while we're going? That's like, weirdos. It's like for your kids sneaking and watching porn, and Mormons are sneaking and just watching any television.
You ever asked them about their protective underwear, man? I love doing that.
I don't want to know anything about that kind of stuff.
I make them feel so uncomfortable. So do you wear the protective underwear? And they're like, well, yes. And do you actually think... Yeah, so they think their genitals will survive if they get into some terrible cataclysmic thing and their body gets destroyed, but the genitals get to live on. Get that one. The genitals get to live on. And that's a religion in the world. I mean, founded by a 14-year-old kid from New York, man. So here's it. There you go.
I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with all this craziness, but who was that? No, Michael. No. Actually, we're gonna get into some of that in a little while, but there's so much crap going on. I did see the Ukrainians starting to fight back again, making some progress backwards, but I don't know.
Yeah,
what
they're
do
losing ratings. The ratings are going down for the war.
That's why they got to go blow some Russian stuff up.
You got to get Kim Kardashian over there, man. You got to do something with the Kardashians. You know what I mean?
So actually, no, it is true though. When Russia's just pounding them and they're not doing any strike backs, their ratings actually go down. When they start making hit backs, their ratings go up. And it's a shame that we're actually talking about a war with ratings, but it is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. You can check it out for yourself. And so the networks treat it accordingly.
Well, I got an email saying that you and I are pro-Russia. In our comments from last week, they're like, I listened to your other show, and you're on there with Joe, and you guys are making comments against the Ukraine. We're pro-Russia, Joe.
Well, I didn't know that. I mean, I'm not anti-Russia. I'm not pro-Ukraine.
I think because we both volunteered to be Russian generals. Man. That's
right.
Hey, you have to understand, the show runs late,
Yeah, that's right. We might have had too much coffee. You never know what the hell's going on. Somebody snuck some THC in the coffee, so I don't know, blew the air vents or something.
Bragging on how we'd win.
Look, people, I'm not. To be honest with you, I'm not anti-Russia. I'm not pro-Russia. I'm not anti-Ukraine. I'm not pro. For me, this is a war we shouldn't be involved in. This has nothing to do with. This is a former Soviet republic that Russia's trying to take back. Yeah, if they were a member of NATO or if they were in the EU, it might be different. But no, and they knew this was coming. And we knew this was coming. I mean, we knew at least Trump predicted it before he left office. So we all knew this was coming. We didn't do anything about it. Now we want to act all shocked. No, we're not shocked. And it's something that, unless there's some real atrocities going on, we don't usually get involved in wars like these. It's not our concern. If Europe wants to get involved, then it might become our concern. But even Europe don't want to get involved in this. Europe's like, yeah, we'll send you a couple little, we'll send you some, and we'll send you some of these. And that's what's going on. But there's no real enthusiasm. Every now and then you will hear a country like Taiwan, like, oh, yeah, Taiwan's like, yeah, we come kill some people for you. We have knives that kills people. I love how you say it. Oh, Jesus, you're playing a Russian anthem now. They're gonna kick us off the air. I can see it coming. Yes, y'all don't know. Yes, the Russian anthem.
We are generals in Ukraine. Yes.
Hail to Russia. It's Actually, what are you talking about? I'm an American, you dumbass.
We're pro
Not only am I an American, I'm a coon-ass American. Get the hell out of here.
At least we're not Canadians, dude.
Now, be nice to the Canadians, Michael. I love you, Canadians. Michael giving y'all trouble, but I love you, Canadians.
Canucks. Come on, man.
What do you mean, do I want to go to war with Canadians? Has Canada actually been in a war? Canada, have y'all been in a real war? Yeah, y'all fought in World War II, didn't you? Yeah, y'all did.
Yeah, remember that? It was called Canada Dry. When they... I don't know.
What a dumbass. If y'all didn't get that, y'all just too old. That's all I can tell y'all. Billy Ray, we're going to talk about that right now.
They've been to war. Who's Canada been to war with? The Moose, right?
Maybe, you know what? Yeah, didn't their Moose get in a fight with Texas Armadillo and get its ass whooped? I thought that's what I heard. Oh, no, that's not what happened. The Armadillo brought Star beer from Texas and got the Moose drunk. Now I know what happened. I forgot there for a minute what happened. Oh, Lord, Canada. We love you, Canada. Unless you have pink shorts on.
It sounds like Amelia singing, doesn't it?
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah. We love you too. Do right, man.
We love you too. It's anyway, let's talk about Senator Munchkin, man, and your favorite Adam Shifty Schiff for a little while. Oh, and
it's amazing that guy's still even there, isn't it? I mean, he's such a horrible person.
So I was asked you're going to love this. So I was asked to submit a thing. I'll do other political stuff. So somebody said, well, the Democrats are coming up with a way to do term limitations on the Supreme Court. I'm like, okay, cool. And they're like, you're not against that? I said, oh, well, I'm against that until such a time that the senators and the House Representatives have. So I wrote this big essay back to them and said, look, until you decide to give your own self, Mr. Senator or Mr. House person who wrote this, you need to consider you need term limitations before you even try to put term limitations on the Supreme Court. I said, I can tell you now the country would much prefer term limitations on you than the Supreme Court. I said, why don't you ask them? Do a poll and find out. Let's not do no 100-person poll and say, oh, see, we won. No, let's do like a 500,000-person poll and see what it comes out to be. I say, because you're going to be shocked when they say, oh, no, let's screw with you before we screw with the Supreme Court. Because I've never met anybody in the country that doesn't want term limitations on the House and the Senate. No one.
You know what the thing is? They're not going to cut their own throats, man. They're the rats. They're in charge of the trash pile. You know what I mean? We have real problems that are happening, and now there's a huge because people haven't been driving, they haven't been spending on certain items, dumbing everything down because of survivability, basically, and just trying to live. There's a huge problem with the supply chain now. And then when we get into the winter months, for instance, Hershey's said they may not have enough candy for Halloween this year. Little things like that, which are actually pretty big, considering Halloween is one of the biggest grossing holidays in America. But that also leads into Christmas. It leads into a whole bunch of stuff. So there's problems, and you got a president who's in cognitive decline. You can't deny it, and why they're sitting there doing the Texas sidestep on this whole issue, it's just mind-boggling. If this was Trump was, good mental health, basically, whatever you consider good. And I'm crazy, so whatever I consider good, I don't use me as a barometer for mental health. But Trump was functioning. Let's put it that way. He was functioning. Biden is not functioning. Biden has to be goosed and prepped and drugged and all these other things just for him to talk. There was a clip of him talking for 20 seconds the other day. 20 seconds. They had to edit it 11 times in that 20-second clip. 11 times? Because of the stuff he was saying. And he kept leaning on the podium, leaning over on it and doing weird stuff, man. I'll tell you, if we were attacked tomorrow by anything and anything, we'd be in big trouble because we have no real solid chain of command that can give orders,
Yeah, well, right now you're right. I mean, who do you want? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, and Kamala just doesn't have. She's another Obama.
No, she's a cackling idiot.
Well, we've come to this thing. What I mean with that.
I mean, you and I are going to be in Russia as generals, so they're losing us too.
She has no experience, just like Obama had no experience. So we're putting people in places now because of their color. Obama got elected because he was black, not because he was a good president or even that he was a good senator. I mean, he'd only been a junior senator for 6 months.
That's
and
right.
Before that, he was a community organizer. So
He
it's not like he had any experience to be president.
Affirmative action, basically.
Yeah. And everybody so far in Joe Biden's administration. So the new girl took over for Penske. They hired her because she was gay and black. That's what they said. The Supreme Court girl, oh, we got to put a woman that's black. So we had to make sure it was a female. And I was like, that's illegal in this country. You can't hire someone based on sex or color. I mean, I don't even know what they're doing. And they did it at least 4 times that I know of. And they're doing it and doing it and doing it. And then, now more and more people are starting to challenge it and sue them. But, when you deal with the government, they tie up everything for so long. It's 5 years down the line. And then you hear a story. Oh, this people won against, well, the guy ain't even president no more. You're like, what the hell? It's ridiculous is what it is.
Because the Democrats are self-loathing. They hate themselves. They hate everybody else. Everybody. I mean, and they want people to suffer. And then they want all these crazy things. And when they have it, they don't know what to do with it. Like the mayor of D.C. calling for the National Guard to help with the immigration problem because the governors of Texas and Arizona are busing immigrants. They only bust for about 4,000 of them up to D.C. They're saying that's overwhelming. You mean tell me 4,000 people in D.C. is overwhelming? It's not. But they want to call up the National Guard for this threat and issue and whatever. Interesting to hear their wording because they created this crisis and now they're seeing it in their face and they don't like it. And
Texas and Arizona and them are going to keep shipping. Even Nevada started doing that. They're going to keep shipping them to D.C. and New York and places like that. And they're shipping them to Joe Biden's old hometown. Because it's bullshit. Why should Texas have to have the burden of this? Even the Florida governor's like, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to send them where we're going to send them. And we're just not going to allow this to happen in our state anymore because they don't want them. And, they don't, Biden don't want to send them back. So they need to go somewhere they want it. No, D.C. sounds like a good place to me.
It's interesting, man.
If D.C. goes Hispanic, it's the end of the Democratic Party.
This is a statement on religion that, you don't see the Catholic Church saying, hey, we have churches in every town, plenty of space. Come on, we'll open our doors. We'll put out cots for you and feed you. Oh, no. You know what? You never, ever, never hear or see any of that ever. But, send them to Pelosi's house, too. She owns 4 mansions. She
owns all kind of crap. Her husband,
big tall
her husband who owns everything. But, oh, look, here you go, Mike. You like this one. Biden admin quietly approves construction of U.S.-Mexico wall near Yuma, Arizona.
Yeah, you want to start.
We don't want no wall. We don't want the wall. Now we building the wall.
Yep.
Oh my. What's happened for Biden? He should have realized this. He came in like a gangbuster because his party told him to do all this bullshit. He should have actually went and looked at Trump's policies and seen what they were doing before he got rid of them because he's had to institute a lot of them back in place. Yep. And if he'd go back and make us oil independent again, the economy would take care of itself. But he don't want to do that. He just can't. He can't let it go. So Colbert comes out. He's all over MSNBC and CNN because they're redefining what a recession is, and he's claiming that they're not qualified to speak on the issue at all. Right. He's like, even Democrats who are stout Democrats are now going, "What do you mean we're not in a recession? Are you on crack? Do you really want us to believe this crap?" And I think that the Republicans and independents are already like, look, we're used to them lying to us. But the Democrats are now being forced to really realize how much their party lies. And it's hurting them.
I don't think there's anything they can do to reverse the flow of what's happening. And everything they're doing is only increasing people's anger and anxiety and angst at this government, off their they just don't know what to do or how to run things. The Democrats have become a party of crybabies that want this, they want that, they want all these things. Once they get it, they don't know what to do with it, or they have no clue how to continue through. They're like a bunch of children, like really a bunch of children that have no clue on, young children, no clue how to exist in the real world and what you got to do. And you need that father to come in like a Trump. I mean, you and I aren't huge Trump fans, but man, at least he didn't pull all this stuff. All the stuff they said was going to happen under him is happening under Biden.
It is. Everything they said was going to happen is hiding under Biden. So, Mark, yeah, I know. I read some of what's in the deal. So, a lot of the money that you're talking about in this new deal that much can help get passed, well, it hasn't actually passed yet, but when it does, a lot of that money is just going to go to Democrat people in green industries that, like they were doing under Obama, and everything failed. Remember all the money that he gave away for solar power and solar cars and all kind of other green businesses, and all of them. I think 96% of them went belly up. So that was just businesses
Quantitative
and friends of theirs
easing.
making them rich.
Remember the quantitative easing, and it was all. I knew people in New York City that were in huge corporations that were getting money that they didn't even know what to do with it. Money they didn't ask for, but they didn't know what to do with it. It was extra funds, and so they just kind of put it in their general fund. So these guys just write the check. The headline looks good. They think that they're doing something. They say they're doing something, and they're not doing anything. They have no idea. Biden was yelling yesterday, really like angrily complaining on how people are disliking him because they didn't get their $8,000 checks this year, from the government, and things are more expensive. So, they're back to work, but whatever. One, people aren't back to work. The jobs aren't there. When they say these job markets are growing, they're talking about McDonald's or whatever. The white collar jobs are not there. You can look on Indeed. One person jumps on a job, 2,000 people applied for the same job. Jobs aren't there. And I didn't get an $8,000 check. Do you get an $8,000 check? He doesn't even know what the hell he's talking about.
The biggest check I got from the government when all the COVID was going, I think it was $2,600, and
he
I think
sounded
they gave me
like
$800
somebody's
a week.
suffering. He sounded like somebody's suffering. And it's funny how Sky News has picked this up. They're usually very liberal. The one in England, very, 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 very liberal. But the one in Australia is more balanced, and then they picked this up, and they're actually reporting what's happening. But let's think about cognitive decline for a second. It's basically, you forget things more often. You forget important events, appointments, social engagements. You lose your train of thought. Or your thread of conversations, things like that. You feel increasingly overwhelmed by making decisions, planning steps. He's got all of this, right or wrong.
I don't know to me, this is all getting just more and more out of control daily is what's going on. It just seems to be splashing across.
This dude,
I don't know.
The dude's shaking hands with nobody. He's shaking hands.
He's just on his own little.
He's done that a couple times already.
He's just on his little thing. See, and then somebody sends me this when Biden nominates abortion rights lawyer, U.S. Supreme Court case in federal judgeship, and he said he was going to put a woman there. He put one there. So now we're gonna say what sex or color you are, and then we're gonna give you a job. I mean, that is so illegal.
He put a black woman on there that can't define what a woman is. A woman who can't define a woman, right?
Well, she don't have a choice now.
Woman, she got the job.
Now that Roe versus Wade came out, she can't not define it now. Because you have to be able to define what a woman is.
I would love to see more diversity and all throughout the government, of course, but there's realities that are happening, and if you mention anything about it, you're automatically labeled a racist. But there's attacks on white people in the U.S., not just getting beaten up or pushed in front of a train. I'm talking about, like you said, a girl got stabbed, 40 times. This guy stabbed her over and over and over again. Some college girl who was working her job. And the guy was acting weird. He left the store, came back, and he stabbed her, he killed her. You know what? But this is like, no one's mentioning it. It's funny. If a white person does anything, it's all called out. The white person, in all these articles. You got black people committing major crimes. Then you want to release the statement of what they look like when they have a bolo. Be on the lookout. It's a male, 5'10". Like there's a problem there. They're bending over backwards to satisfy something, but who are they satisfying?
But it's only the Democrats doing it, though. Yeah, no, but that's it. The Democrats are doing it to garner votes. It's always with them. It's always about can they get votes.
But they're making it dangerous for people to live.
And that's what happened. So that's exactly what happened. So they brought this Compton girl in to be mayor of New Orleans, and she gave all these things. So she came in and it was real easy in crime. That crime was insane in New Orleans. As a matter of fact, the other day, the chief of police tried to blame it on the media. Oh, it's the media's fault it's so bad. No, it's you and the mayor's fault it's so bad. and it's liberal policies. Now, other cities in this state don't have crime like that, and there's other cities that are bigger now, and they're not having that because they don't have Democratic governors or good Democratic mayors. They got Republican mayors, and their towns seem, and it's so funny to look at anything that's run Republican versus Democrat. The violence is so far less in anything related to Republicans. Even mass shootings are much lower under Republican presidents. I love this guy the other day.
Let's talk FBI statistics. Black people make up about 13% of the U.S. in population, but they commit 54% of the crimes. 54% of the crimes. So you can't say white people are the cause of that, and because Latino, white, whatever, not the cause of it. You're going to say that it's a systemic problem. It's a problem with the system. It's a problem with those communities and how they deal with their criminals. If you take someone, I don't care what color they are, they commit a crime, and then you release them right back on the street, you smack their hands, they're going to go out and commit more crimes. That's not helping anybody. That's not helping anybody, nobody. So the guy who stabbed that girl, killed her, he attacked a police officer. He had gun crimes. Why was he walking the streets? But it was Obama. I remember Obama said very mockingly and arrogantly, let's face it, that there's an unusual amount of Black and Latino men in jail, a predominant amount that that are in jail for these crimes. Well, maybe that's the amount committing the crimes. You can't dismiss that, and they try to dismiss that all the time.
They do try to dismiss
nothing
it
will get solved. These
but all this is backfired now. But see, now all this is.
Oh, did you see the guy? No, did you see the guy in New York City who got robbed? That so-called bishop, right? $1 million worth of jewelry while he was doing his live broadcast. Turns out this guy is really best friends with Mayor Adams. That they had some kind of funky deal before Mayor Adams was Mayor Adams, where they were advertising the church together. They were in it together, saying that they had support of the NYPD in New York City, which they didn't at the time. Now they do because Adams is in there as mayor. So it sounds like Mr. Transit Cop Adams likes to dip in and get some cash. Turns out he's making a lot of money, but people don't know from what. And Adams tried to appoint a bunch of his friends who were criminals into New York City, into NYPD and all that, and they stopped them from doing it. So there's no leadership.
That's a good segue. So there are, in case you haven't noticed, ladies and gentlemen, there are now over 100 police departments in the United States that have lowered their standards for police officers. You can actually get on the police force if you've got a felony or you've had a drug problem, and as long as it's been, I think it's 8 years or more, they'll let you on a police force now. That's how desperate we are for cops. New Orleans is hemorrhaging cops. We've lost 150 cops in like 6 months. I mean, we're just hemorrhaging cops.
That's nobody wants to be a cop cities.
Oh God, isn't it? That's
why would you want to be a cop? The pay isn't all that great, and you have to go out and deal with the worst type of people.
I think starting pay now is like $28,000. If you're like a senior officer, you might be making 50. If you're a detective, you might be making 50 or 60. But you're putting your life on the line for nothing. I mean, we're paying football players $20 million a year, or even $500,000 a year. But the guy who's going to save your life, we're going to pay him $50,000. And EMTs make it like $35,000. I mean, these are people who save your life.
But the guy who says
upside down.
The guy who says you want fries with that is making twice what they're making. But that's also a dangerous job if you look at fast food these days.
Oh, man. Yeah. Well, when I was young, I worked in the convenience stores, at nights, and
what do you do, Joe? How do you protect yourself? You're armed and dangerous. How do you protect yourself? They're telling people no guns, restrict the guns. SCOTUS didn't say restrict guns. SCOTUS said in New York, you can't deny people handguns, and now they're making the mad dash, trying to create these safety zones and whatever. The safety zones they're talking about are the worst places.
So I heard what Gorovich or whatever it was told y'all's governor. He said, you're wasting your time. Most of what you're doing is going to be overturned by the Supreme Court. He said, even the liberal justices, you can't do some of what you're doing. It's just unconstitutional.
Time and money.
Why would you deliberately, he actually asked her, why would you deliberately pass laws that are unconstitutional? So in the old days, you could be put in jail for that.
Because they're Democrats.
Fucking bother with
they love to waste your money, and that's why I have a huge problem with the whole tax structure, because they just don't have a mentality of how not to spend someone's
But you know
hard-earned
what?
money.
You know what actually sums up the Democratic Party better than anything at all. So there was a baseball game today. Republicans versus Democrats.
I saw that.
Yeah, Republicans beat them 10-0. So what did the woman do? The senator do? She flipped off the other dugout. That perfectly tells you how bad I mean, they can't even play baseball without
big nasty whale too. A whale of a person.
Yeah, no, it was just disgusting. I mean, poor sportsmanship all the way around. I guess all the Democrats have come low class, and they always want to be the high class side, but they have really become low rent in the last decade or so.
They were supposed to be the smart party. Remember with Al Gore in there and all this nonsense.
Gore. Thank God he didn't become president.
Al Gore, who was molested his masseuse, right? Remember that one?
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, man, he got crazy, and he never answered for that. Really, they pushed that out pretty quick, like they do. They cover everything up. You think that Hunter Biden is going to go through the court, in Delaware, that they're going to charge him like truly, get to the point where they're going to put him in jail? Of course not. They're going to find something to dismiss it. It'll be something there, whatever. But imagine if that was Trump's kids. They got beaten on by the press for all kinds of stuff, and they were just business people. Here's Hunter Biden, like the biggest loser you'll probably meet in your life, and here he is. He's basically a billionaire. I mean, he has access to all kinds of money. He's a total loser, crackhead with whatever, man. His whole lifestyle. But then they're saying that that's the one that Joe Biden got the money. Joe Biden's the big guy. Right, yeah, getting all this money from China.
That's what they're saying. Karina, no, actually, on whatever November date it is, there'll be at least 7 hosts here working the political show for that night. Oh yeah, we'll be on.
We don't
all
know
night.
Who yet.
Yeah, we don't know who yet because we've changed hosts. Michael and I will be here for sure. I'm pretty sure Jeffrey, he likes to stop by for the political shows. He's very liberal, so he wants to come support his liberal friends out there. There'll probably be a couple of other people stop by. Our Canadian host, there's no reason for them to come in. I mean, it's not, it's nothing that involves them. So we'll see who it is. And we maybe will invite some friends from some other networks by to come by and talk about it. But it's, oh, and by the way, we are looking for a 4th host for this show. Preferably female, because we have Joe. Joe comes and goes because of his schedule. He's here with us a couple of weeks in a row, and then he's off for a couple of weeks in a row. So, but we are looking for a female full-time host. Yeah, Jay. I think Joe? He comes back now. No, Jay. Yeah, Jay. Yeah, so Joe's the other guy. Jay. Anyway, he'll be back next week with us. And,
Joe is you.
Yeah, I'm Joe. Yeah. No, I'm not that Joe. I'm just Joe.
We don't have another Joe on the network. God damn it.
So, Rita,
Ben.
So what is Ben? This you sent me? I haven't talked to him. I need to call him. I haven't talked to him at all lately. I haven't even seen they've been posting. I got to check and see if they've been posting.
Ben's he has a good point of view, good delivery. I like the dude, man.
Well, if he's got his damn phone fixed, he can come join us, and because it'll be a good show, and well, we're really good, guys. I mean, we've done the last 2. We've been right on for the presidential elections and even the Senate and all. We're not trying to tell you who we want to win. We're just there to forecast who we think is going to win over the course of a night, and we're really good at it. I mean, the first Trump, we had actually at 7:00, it was done. We knew he was going to be your next president. Biden, it was about 8:00, but still we knew he was going to be the next president. Where every other network was still on at 1:00 in the morning going, well, I don't know. No, it was pretty clear who was it going to be. Georgia was a little hard last year because it did turn blue in a big way. So we don't know what's going to happen in this election. But, they Trump aggravated Georgia for some reason, so they voted blue. So we'll see, and senators get 6 years. That's the dangerous part about senators. They get 6 years, not 2 years. House reps get 2 years. Man. So, no, Carolyn, no, actually, yeah. So my recommendation was for that they have term limitations for the House and the Senate, 2 terms in the Senate, which is 12 years, and 6 terms in the House, which is 12 years. You can serve in both. That would give you 24 years serving in the major offices. After that, you can go be a governor or a mayor or, some other kind of rep for the president or somebody like that. But you don't need to serve in the House and the Senate anymore. And it would do a couple of things. It would mix up the age a little bit better. We'd get a little bit younger group in there. We'd still have some oldie goalies because some of the older people would run. So it would be it would just be a better group, and we'd see more growth because we'd see more turnover. Right now, we get the same people, and they just, 30 years, it's the same people. Well, nothing's going to change if you get the same damn people in there. And listen, America, I'm going to tell you this again. All y'all don't think it's never your guy. It's your guy. Okay? Face it. It's your guy. Vote him out. And CAOC, she needs to go. Omar needs to go. Nancy needs to go, but nobody's going to vote Nancy out.
AOC is being criticized by her own Democrats because she's not doing the job. She's not doing the job for the people in Queens and the Bronx where she was elected.
They're saying that she's just a TV ham. She's not a real politician.
Yeah, she's a bobblehead, little political bobblehead that they put in there. They hand selected. She doesn't know the community. She doesn't know those people. Apparently, she never even lived there. That was her father's address and apartment. So, whatever.
Yeah. It's no, I did know. We predicted Trump way earlier tonight. I mean, way earlier tonight. Yeah, actually, Lily White did. No, Lily did. I said it at 7:30. Lily said it at 7. And well, no, she was good for shows like that. It's just when you got into general politics, she was too young to go that deep into politics. You got to be around a little while to understand the depths of how nasty politics really are. Younger people kind of only see the surface of politics. That's why they're so easily swayed. But once you get about 35 or 40, you kind of change your view on politics. You may not change your party, but you change your view.
She had her information wrong, and we hate that. So
yes, we do.
If you want to piss us off, that's the way to do it. And tell us we're wrong when we know that we're right on.
So, here's Adam Schiff again. He always seems to be one step behind everything. So Adam Schiff making move to replace Nancy Pelosi as House Speaker if she steps back after midterms. That's assuming if you win, Adam. You've got to win first.
Pretty presumptuous, man. The Republicans are taking over in November. I think it's a no-brainer. I think that's already said and
sure. I don't know about
said and done.
The House it is. And there's absolutely not. Wyoming voters are on. Wait. What was that? Oh, man, come on. I want to see that story. Damn it.
They're looking to gain 28.
Yeah,
28 in the GOP.
Who's 28 in the GOP?
They're going to gain 28 seats. So Democrats are losing 28. The GOP is gaining 28.
No, yeah, that's true. So CNN, and CNN hates to put this up, by the way. So they polled in Liz Cheney's best spots where she did best in her last election. Are you voting for Liz Cheney? Not only was it a no, most people were saying like, absolutely not. It will never happen. She's done. She'll have to become a Democrat and move to another state. She's now a pariah. That's how they look at her. They want her out. She's just, because she didn't get all the facts. She's done it one side. And somebody told her that the other day. She was somewhere at some conference. And the guy said, I hear you saying all this, but you never heard the other side. And there's a lot of questions y'all didn't answer because it would have made your argument not as good. And there was a lot. That's why I tore up. Speaking of that, so I called into a local radio show today because the guy's an absolute idiot. And he's saying how bad Trump was and how Trump showed us and how this, that, and the other thing about Trump and how he's going to go to jail when DOJ gets through him. So I called him. I'm like, dude. And this guy's always saying he's not a liberal, by the way. He's absolutely liberal. So I went through 10 reasons why he's liberal. He can't get me thrown off because the producers, actually two of the producers, and one of them is way up in the company. We went to school together. We're good friends. And so they consider me good for ratings anyway. Because, I'm a provocative. So I said, dude, I said, let's go over why you're a liberal first before I explain to you why you're an idiot in what you just said. So we went through that and I told him, I said, so let's see. I said, did you have the balls to ask, how did the people get into the Capitol building? Well, the riot is broken. No. I said, that's not what happened. The police unlocked the doors and let them in. They could not have done that without someone's authority. Who gave them that authority? No one's asked that question. Why didn't Nancy Pelosi ask for more police? She's in charge of the Capitol Police Department. Why didn't she ask for more police? Why didn't she accept Trump's 1,500 members? Who guided these people in? Why haven't we talked about the Antifa members that we now know were there? And other Democrats that we now know were there in the middle of this stirring stuff up. I said, when is anybody going to apologize for saying they killed a cop when they didn't? I said, you didn't ask any of this. You made assumptions like every liberal does. You just assume you're right and everybody else is wrong. I said, and that's what you've always been. I said, you're just a loser. How you even got this job is beyond me. I said, you've got to be the most boring. I said, if you were on my network, I would have already fired you. I said, that's how boring you are. I said, I feel for the city of people in New Orleans. You got to listen to this. I said, I wasn't even going to listen, but I happened to be scanning by him, and I heard you say that. And I was like, he's got to be just stupid. And I called in. Man, like the next 30 calls just ripped his ass apart. And they wasn't letting any liberal people in to back him up or help him out. He got crucified. But it's good for ratings for them, It gets people in the city listening. Because New Orleans
opinions
is a
are like
city.
assholes, man.
Yeah,
opinions are like assholes. Everyone's got one. So it really comes down to the argument, and what people are spreading, what kind of crapola that's out there. And there's a lot of it because these guys are pre-programmed by the headline. They don't know the story. They don't know the truth. They're being spoon-fed information like sheep from their masters, man. They don't search for the truth. We search for the truth on this network. When I do my red pill news, the news that I'm doing is an analysis of what's going on. It's really what's going on. It's also, I talk to people, that's how people are feeling in this country, the morale, how people are feeling in the world. I have people in England. I got people in Australia. I got people in Cambodia, man. I mean, all over the place. They tell me how they're doing. I say, how are you doing? Joe,
I'm doing good, man.
You got me on stereo, man. Look at that.
Yes, people, that's dual mics up there. He's being a ventriloquist tonight.
Double-barreled angry.
Oh, Lord. He's not allowed to play with nothing anymore. We're going to take all his toys away. Santa Claus is not coming to Michael's house this year. I can already tell.
Santa Claus is going to get his ass handed to him if he tries to slide down my chimney.
So wait, what's this? Somebody just sent me this. Finns call for a halt to unbearable Russian tourism. What? So what? They don't want the tourism? I guess nobody wants Russia to be around anymore except for China.
China's
vagina. Huh?
Does anybody really want Russians? I know a lot of Russians. Anybody actually want them in their house?
There's some hotty-toddy Russians over there, man. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't care how hotty-totty they are. They act like, I don't know. They're not that couth. We'll just put it that way. Yeah, I'll put that Russia. That's right. Even though I'm a Russian general, along with.
Does everybody get free? So somebody asked Joe Munchin, "Well, you finally signed up in a climate bill. Does we all get free solar panels now?" The dude just looked at him like, "What? This is not going to go good for him."
That email was funny, man. Yeah. Like, how could you back Russia? And like from one joke, they got this whole thing that you and I support Russia. That we're Russia.
See, Putin. Oh, wait, he's against the Nazis. I forgot. Who sent me this? Ex-Trump cabinet member reveals what January 6th committee asked him. Okay, do you know they asked him something to try to get Trump? So I love this because I was listening to Trump's attorney today, which is cracking me up. CNN and all that make this all out to be everything else. And the guy said they better be real careful because it's not against the law to have a temper tantrum. He said, I guarantee he's not the first or the last president to lose his temper over losing or something else. He said, I personally know several different presidents had temper tantrums in the White House for several different reasons. He said, there's no evidence anywhere in anything that was presented that would make him in trouble. It wasn't his job. It was the Capitol Police's job and the Senate and the House to take care of the Capitol, which they did a piss poor job of.
I'll tell you about energy, man. When you're around that kind of energy, it's very hard to keep your stuff together, number one, because it just kind of takes you, especially for Trump, since he was more, pointing out something that he actually believed the election was stolen from him. And, he wanted Pence to not vote and, to affect the change. And Pence didn't do it, of course, so all that went on. And, things got out of hand. And it wasn't proper. Did Trump break the law? I don't know. I don't know how that happened. I think the ones who broke the law were the ones who told the police to stand down because of cops.
That's who broke the law, and they're pretty sure that was Nancy Pelosi and her people. So that's what I said.
National Guard. You got the guard and you got the cops. You got people that were told to stand down. And what more can you say? If you say that to them, you're expecting something.
My thing's always been the same thing. Look, whatever Trump said or did is one thing, but in order to convict him, you have to find where he told the crowd to go do something. So they can't find anywhere, there's nothing on Facebook and there's nothing on Twitter. Everything on Facebook and Twitter said the same thing.
He told them to peacefully march down there, but
and he went on radio and said it again. And he went on television and said it again. So trying to say he was inciting a riot when he at least a dozen times he said march peacefully, that's not going to float in the court.
But he could have called for it to stop, and he didn't.
I agree. He could have called for it to stop, but by saying that, any time in Obama's 8 years, he could have called for the stop of the Black Lives Movement across our country, and he didn't. So you can't even really hate on for that. I mean, there was 4 more people killed and 4 more people raped and 4 more money.
Obama was president, Hillary was running, and there was riots, there was police stations being burned down, there's all that. Obama did not tell those people to stop or stop the violence.
So trying to get on Trump for something they allowed their own president to do is stupid.
Keep going. And how many politicians do you have on the left who said, get in their faces, challenge them,
kill the pigs and roll them in a blanket? That was a saying. I mean, come on.
They called for blood. Chuck Schumer calling for SCOTUS.
On top of that, they were bailing these people out of jail.
The whirlwind. You're going to reap.
By the way, we found out for the Senate to be involved in bailing people out of jail was actually illegal too. So this is what the problem is here. You're trying to say, you want to tell me Trump acted poorly when he lost? I agree, he did. He was a bad loser, bad sportsmanship. He was screaming they cheated, and I said this in the beginning, whether they cheated or not. If he knew they were going to cheat for the last year, he should have made sure they couldn't. So that's on him. So don't get mad because you effed up. Whether it was actually cheating or not, how do I know? I wasn't there. I didn't see any of that. I can't say there was any cheating in any of that. All I can say is the election was done like every other election. The votes were counted, and Joe Biden was president, and that's how it works. We accepted that our country runs correctly, and that's what we do. And I didn't see any, other than some of the stuff the DOJ put out that we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. There might be little tad bits, a little place here, a little place there with some kind of local BS. But as far as widespread cheating that cost the election, I don't think there was that much. And again, if there was and Trump didn't catch it, that's on Trump.
The problem is the federal government has very little control over the state voting systems, even if it's a federal election.
They're not supposed to, because they would cheat like you wouldn't believe.
Right. So then you have it's up to the states and that governor of the state. And it just turns out that all the blue states were the ones that had all the weird so-called mishaps, or extra ballots under the table that they claimed that were always there, but they waited for all the people to leave the room before they took them out. There was shenanigans going on all over the place.
There was some BS. But so somebody sent me this one. Susan Collins warns a Democrat surprise climate deal endangers bipartisan support for same-sex marriage.
Well, SCOTUS is now talking about, rolling back the rules on gay marriage, that it should never have happened. So
it should never happen. Well, because I forgot which one of it was. Oh, Sotomayor had ordered a study done from one of the liberal colleges about, about gay marriage versus regular marriage and blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that. And what's a male, what's a female, and all of that stuff. And they still came up with the same thing. And they said, a man is a man, a woman's a woman. Whether it's a gay man or a gay woman is fine, but it's still a woman.
Country song.
I know. And it's just, but it's a shame that here we are in 2022 and part of the country can't define what is a man and a woman. That's pathetic. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know what that makes us look to the rest of the world? No, it doesn't make us look smart. It doesn't make us look ahead. It doesn't make us look progressive. It makes us look stupid. That's what it makes us look.
In the future, people will look back and they'll be like, what happened in this civilization, that they forgot what a man and a woman was.
Well, it's like it was like the Obama, the bathroom wars under Obama. The whole world were laughing their asses off. And that's one of the reasons Trump got elected, because we spent 2.5 to 3 years talking about what bathrooms we were going to use.
Well, what's funny?
I mean, the world's coming in. Jesus, it's stupid.
The Democrats say that they're the saviors of everybody, right? Yeah. All these different groups. You're gay, you're straight, you're a woman, whatever. No, white men, no. Fat white men, no. two unprotected groups. But it turns out that the women who were swimming, the girls who were swimming with the guy, the swimmer who won and then was disqualified because he's a male and all that, and they actually made him like what female of the year or that type of stuff. Crazy, right? But these girls are saying they felt very uncomfortable to be in the locker room with him He's walking around with his penis hanging down, and then here are these girls, in the shower. He's showering with them. So why doesn't where are the feminists? Where are the feminists who are the ones who are supposed to champion these issues and whatever? And it's the Democratic Party pushing this type of stuff, telling children how to have sex when they're 6 or 7 years old, or how to be touched and all this other stuff. You know what? It's sick, and it's been catered to too long. Should never have happened. These are the sick mental people, the ones who have pedophile pimps, right? The ones in Hollywood or the royalty and whatever, and they were dealing with Epstein. You never hear their names. Ghislaine Maxwell just got sent down to a summer camp in Florida instead of the hard time she was going to do in Connecticut. Now she's doing time in Florida. They have yoga, they have all these movies and whatever, and she's not denied anything. And that's the world we're in. So these Democrats they pulled out this, we're self-righteous. They're not righteous. They're not anything. They're the worst possible people you could meet, So, and they've pushed me very far right. Before I was centered in the middle, but I think that we need to escape what these people have done, and you need to protect your children. You need to protect your families. They're releasing dangerous criminals in the streets to create more victims, to kill people. The girl that got stabbed, she didn't want to die. She didn't hurt anybody. She's just some girl working at a store who's going to UCLA at the same time, and she got stabbed to death by a loser that should have been locked up. But no one is saying anything. Well, now he's charged and they're going to hold him. Come on, man. You know what? People, you can see the way things are going, and it's not going well. And these people are trying to push. It's like the Democrats trying to push some kind of civil war, and when it happens, they're going to say, "Look, that's how they are." Look, it's like somebody pushing. I was in a relationship with someone who would push and push and push until you lose your mind, And then she recorded me. You know what I mean? Like look how angry you get. So that's what they do. They push you to the point where it's just crazy and unacceptable. And then when you have an emotional breakdown, they say it's your fault. This is the game they play.
Well, it is, and that's what they say. It's a game they play. But you know what? The Democrats' reign is coming to an end. They've got big issues. The country's in deep shit. They were touting this new bill was going to help the inflation economy, but all the analysts came out and said it's not. It might even make things worse. They said spending more money right now is stupid. It's taking on more debt is stupid. So they don't think it's going to help anything. It's not really going to create any new jobs or anything along those lines. So, it's not really a big win for anybody, but the Democrats' rich friends, because that's who's going to get all the money on this bill. And, Munchkin might get something, but still, I was just reading again. What's her name? Session, whatever her name is. She still hasn't signed off 100% yet. I think the fact that they gave him so much is aggravating her now. So we'll see what that goes. I'm not really worried.
Because they want to slide. They want to just stay. You know what they do. They want to get in there and just slide with no problems, no nothing.
Yeah.
Now there's actually problems, and there's actually problems in every area. There's not one area where there's no problems, and you have no leadership. They don't know what to do. They have no clue. No clue. They don't even know how they're going to get out of the predicament, because you got Biden and Kamala in there. You get rid of him, you still have her. So really, you have to move past both of them. If you pass her over, she's going to be like, well, whatever. Then she'll come out and write that book. That's a book I'd like to see.
Yeah. So we're going to get into some of these polling numbers, some of the stuff we've got that's been recently put up, things that's been sent to us. So before we get into Trump and Santos, let's talk a little bit about choices for president. Biden is still the first place choice to run. If it is a primary vote, he's going to win. They're trying to say that him and Kamala and Bernie Sanders are tied, but nobody wants Bernie, so that's a lie. And nobody wants Kamala, so that's a lie. They got Pete Butterbutt in fourth with 16%. If he gets to become president, I'm moving. I don't know where I'm going.
I think there needs to be an age limit on president. If the expiration date for males in the U.S. is 73, 74, you shouldn't be voting for people. Some of our greatest
presidents in the country were in their mid 70s.
I don't care. I don't care. You need
I
to
do,
change
because
the
if
system.
not, we wouldn't have all this stuff.
We're not in a good position either. Things are messed up. It's funny. You got Roger Waters.
Trump did a great job. Reagan did a great job. You go all the way back to World War II. Your boy did a great job. They were all mid 70s presidents.
Roger Waters, right? ex band member of Pink Floyd, and he's been on his own, and he himself isn't doing well. He just criticized the media in Toronto because they didn't give him enough attention, and because he said that he's really, really, really important. But the thing is, he thinks his music is saving people. He thinks his music makes these important political statements. His music's been out there for a long time, and things are really messed up. You think that things would be more messed up without that crap? You know what I mean? It's just something you get high to.
Messed up.
It's something you get high to, man, and be like, yeah, cool, whatever.
But
music's supposed to help you relax, not be like, oh, I already know what the politics are. You know what I mean? I don't need to be bombarded with somebody else's idea. He's like some cockeyed preacher. They preach his politics at people.
They told your governor not to bother running for president, right?
You know what Roger Waters is? He's a rich old English white man. And that's what he is. And he's a millionaire. He's a millionaire telling people their business. That's all that he is.
Who cares? But anyway, I'm getting back.
I
people want to know
he's going people to Drake. He's going. I know Joey, you're a huge Drake fan. You tell me all the time.
Drake. Who's Drake? Who the hell's Drake, man? You mean like Drake the sandwich Drake, man? Oh, you mean what's his name with my phone? What the hell was that song that? I can't remember the damn song now. It's some phone call, some shit. You don't call me anymore. That's what it was. Okay, I remember now. Anyway, getting back to these numbers. So Amy Calabacha, she's at 11%. Your girlfriend, Alexander Cortez, is at 10%. You know what? She's ahead of Gavin Newsom. Come on. If I was Gavin, I'd just put my head down in shame at this point. Right. But it's even worse because Hillary is at 8%.
Uh-oh.
So this is your choices, 5 of which are ancient, 3 of which are too young. They're not going to ever get elected. And Gavin Newsom. Yeah, okay. You better come up with better people than that if you plan on winning. So right now, you know that Sanchez and Trump got together and shook hands and made up the other day, right? And as soon as they did, their numbers shot up through the roof. So Vegas put out the line, if they run together, it is a 75% chance they will win and win in a landslide. That's how sure they are of it. And they even got them keeping the House and Senate up there because it's strange because Vegas isn't the most liberal or the most conservative place. It's kind of
very middle of the road.
Yeah, it is very middle of the road. So they're looking out for what's best for them, and this is what they think is best, and this thing is what's going to happen. Trump is polling 43% as far as the primaries numbers. So not Gavin. Sanchez is close, but not close enough to beat him. So they would have to run together, and together everybody thinks they're unstoppable. There's things I like about Trump, but I don't know if I'm ready. It's not Trump that I don't know if I'm ready for. I don't know if I'm ready for another 4 years of the press and the Democrats acting like.
You know what? I'm voting Republican because I can't vote Democrat. Can't do it. They've made it so I can't vote for them ever again. Unless they have some serious people and change their party completely, which they're not going to do. It's just going to keep going. It's in decline, their party, and it's keep going. I want people who are going to run the goddamn system. I don't care what you think. I just want you to run the goddamn system. We're not looking for their own personal opinions to take over the whole world. We just need them to run the system. Make sure that things work and don't abuse our tax dollars like they do. So since the Democrats have gotten in this time around, they've started programs that would blow your mind of what they're going to spend and waste on these useless end of nowhere and bridge to nowhere programs. This is because they've been waiting. All their donors who gave them all the money to run, they've been waiting for the payback, right? So now they have all these programs that aren't going to help anybody. They're not going to do anything for anyone. So that's what they're doing. At the same time, we're suffering, and then them telling us it's okay that we're suffering. They're not suffering. You think Biden's got a problem with gasoline? You think that any of these people do? They're not worried about that. They're paying their bills.
Who sent me this? Actually, Trisha, thank you for sending me this. So wait, let me go back over and find this one. So there's 2 of these, huh? Okay, well, hold on, one at a time. So these are Biden's.
You read that. I'll be right back.
You're good. That. So this is Biden's Biden's approval rating in January of 2021 was 57%. Now this is I think this is a Reuters poll. Let me go check and make sure. No, this is a Gallup poll. So this is a Gallup poll. Currently, they have him at 38%. Most people right now have him at somewhere between 31 and 36%. Unless it's a heavy Democratic poll, and then he's still only 38 to 41. And that's polls where it's almost everybody who took it was a Democrat. So, we'll get into those in a few minutes because I got them all in front of me. But, seeing Gallup's out there just saying, look, he's just steadily dropping. This picture they got of him looks like he's about to cry. I've never had a president look like he's about to cry before. So here's Rasmussen poll. Currently, Rasmussen says that he is at. Okay, I hear my dog's alarm going off. That's my Chihuahua built-in alarm system. In case y'all don't know, it's a very expensive alarm system, by the way, too. Just so y'all know. So Rasmussen says he's at 44%. Now, nobody believes that anywhere. So you just got to kind of take it and say, really, is that how it is? ISPO has him at 37%. Your government has him at 36%. Maureen Colton has him at 39%. Gallup has him at 38%. Sockford University has him at 39%. And here's Rasmussen again. All of a sudden, he's dropped to 41% here. Same group. It's just dropped down. Winston Group has him at 36%. Morning Consultant has him at 37%. News Nation, you can't get any more liberal than this, 43%. McCullen and Associates, 39%. This one, Lake Recent's Terrence Group at 42%. Yeah. Emerson College at 36%. Again, now here's taken July later. He's at 36%. Rasmussen. He's just the lowest he's on here is Quinnipiac. He's at 31% in Quinnipiac. And then he's at 33% in Navigator, 38 at YouGov, ISPO's at 36. So he's in trouble. His average right now is around 37%. So if you're a president and you're rolling out at 37%, you're in trouble. Not just you, your whole party's in trouble. Because what do you do? How do you correct that? What is it? It's so I don't know how it's going to work out for all these people. And there's a lot of people up for a vote, and it's going to be tight races in some places. But right now, even with the Roe versus Wade thing, the Republicans are still saying it. So this should tell everybody something in the country, especially if there is a red wave. So when you listen to the Democrats or when you listen to ABC or NBC or CBS, you always hear them say this: 85% of America is pro-abortion. That's a lie, and it's a big, nasty lie at that. You're not going to find 85% of America pro-abortion. It's not a true statement. What you will find is about 50% of America is pro if you were raped or if the child's in a problem or it's going to cause a problem for you, then they consider abortion okay. But getting an abortion because you got pregnant for not having birth control or other reasons, they don't consider that a good reason to have a baby. So it's not a true statement when they say that. So you can say 50% of America is okay with that as long as it's something to do that, harm's going to come to the baby. Harm's going to come to you, or there's something else wrong, or it was a rape or incest. And everybody pretty much agrees on that. Other than that, they don't think you should be allowed to have an abortion. So, it's just what it is. So most of America feels that way, by the way. They don't feel like people should be using abortions as birth control. And when you poll America and ask them, about 85% will say, no, we don't think abortion should be used as birth control. So, and that may change anyway. They're getting ready to come out with a birth control drug for men. They've done it in 2 other countries. In both countries where it came out, births dropped almost 10% in the first year. It's actually dangerous for a country like ours because our birth rate's at like 2.45% right now. So we're almost negative. If we fall below 1.25, we're at 1.45. If we fall below 1.25, we're negative. We'll be losing more people than we're having.
Good. It's too many people anyway. We're about to hit 8 billion by the end of this year, and that's mainly India doing it.
Yeah, India can breed away. India needs to outbreed China. They need to outbreed China.
They will.
China, last I had checked, I haven't checked recently, but last I checked, China was like at 1.385 and India was like at 1.185 or something like that. And growing. They do expect India to pass them up in population in less than 20 years and pass them up in economy.
Less than 20. We're talking about a few years.
Well, it just depends because
by 2025.
Well, it just depends on what China's doing. China's, there's no more restrictions in China at all, and they may start giving incentives for children. So it just depends. Right now, India's way on course to take them over, but you don't know how long that's going to last for. Chinese don't like to be beat. They're like Americans in some ways.
India right now has got 1.4 billion, 173 million. It's a lot of people. A lot of people, man.
A lot of people.
Let's see where the hell China's at. China.
Poor America, got nobody living in it.
China population 1.414. So really, India is a little past that,
Yeah, it just depends where you look, because most of the graphs I look at have China over India by about 300 or 400 million.
This is the historical chart from 1950 to 2020.
See, this is the world population census. Has China at 1444 and India at 1393. Yeah,
so at the same time, you've got the world's fresh water supply evaporating now because of the heat and all this and whatever. And there's record heat in the U.S. I'm not feeling it up here. I mean, like
right now, it down here either.
69 degrees outside. So. I mean, and that's summertime, upstate New York, soon it'll be 10 degrees. So it's an ebb and flow. But yeah. But now what happened today, Joe? Record flooding in Las Vegas, hotels underwater. People have to be evacuated. And they're like, well, we get the monsoons and blah, 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 blah. But it's very unusual for that to happen. Even though they need water there, just not in the hotels. More like in the rivers and reservoirs. That's happening all over. So, and if you look at the fire map, I have this cool fire map, right? The entire state of Alaska is on fire, and I don't know if anybody's. I haven't heard that in the news at all. I haven't heard a word. You hear about fires in California and Wyoming. Yellowstone's on fire. They're having their biggest fire on record. First they had the flood. Now they're having the fires. And but Alaska, like the whole state, it's crazy, man. And these are 800,000 acres, like huge swaths of land. This isn't like some little dinky,
Oh, I know. Wait, hold on. I gotta look at this because Jack just sent me this. This is cool. So this is another one they sent me. So China had negative growth last year. They were at 425 million. 1.45 billion in 2021 at 465, and this year they only grew. They didn't grow as a tie. India actually picked up, I don't know, about 20 million people, and on this one, India and China are virtually tied. One's at 117, one's at 147, one's at 1425. That's a tie. And here's U.S. at a little measly. Third largest population in the world, by the way, ladies and gentlemen.
Even though the numbers are going up, at some point they say that they're going to go down because a lot of birth rates, if you look at Japan, places like that, birth rates are very, very low,
Well, that's what I was talking about earlier.
But they're blaming it on
getting ready to go negative.
More on sperm in men, like there's this thing going on. So maybe this is nature's way of starting.
That's not what's going on in the U.S. People just not having babies in the U.S. They were talking
because nobody wants to touch anybody. You be labeled some molester, man.
That's why we're on that. Look, so let's see what growth rates are for these top 14 countries. So I just said China was 0. India is 0.68% growth. So they're growing. United States is at 0.38%. You see, we're getting close to the negative mark. Indonesia at 64. Oh, look at here. Pakistan, 1.91%. Nicaragua. Yeah, see all these countries.
How did you meet your wife? You have a long marriage, man. Unusual for the United States of America and the world. How did you meet your wife, Joe? Inquiring minds want to know.
How do you mean I met her? She sent a cop to bring me food.
I love it when that happens, man. It's love.
You wonder how it really mattered.
They call the cops on you and they bring you food.
No. She had the cop. We were both working nights. She had the cop who was in her store. She gave him hot chocolate and donuts and had the cop bring it to the store I was working in. She had balls the size of Wisconsin.
Cop gave you donuts?
Yeah, she had him bring them to me. That's unheard of. I know, and that's a weird way of flirting too, to send the cop. I'm sitting there playing chess with a friend of mine. Yeah, that's what I hear. I hear somebody knocking on the door, and I look
So
at it as
what year was that?
That was before Christ was born.
I mean, like 30 years ago.
It was a long time ago. It was a long time ago.
I like hearing success stories, man. When it comes
wait.
to
Here we got to go. Wait. So you know how you just said Japan? Japan is at a negative 0.53, so they're going backwards. Russia is also going backwards at 0.227. So these are two countries. Both Russia's only got about 144 million, which they got a big country, and Japan got a small country with 123 million. Japan lost 40 million people last year. They went down.
You know something, so when it becomes a bad business,
Germany's going down too.
To get married and go that course. You know, there's a lot of men now in the United States that are afraid of that. A lot of young guys they don't even know how to talk to women. They don't even know. You know, back in the day, you go to the club and you know you meet whoever or your church or whatever, the supermarket. You know, I mean, you can kick it right there in the produce section, right? These days, it's like you're afraid even to say anything to anybody between their overactive attitude or you're accosting them with your male privilege or that kind of crap. That's the problem, and that's scaring guys away. They're looking for alternatives, and then you got these robotic women. You got people talking about that all day long, which is stupid because it's not the same or anywhere near it. You know what I mean? And when you're in a relationship, when you're in a relationship and you really love the person you're with, you care for them, they care for you, and you just, you're kind of intertwined. It's a good feeling. It's a nice feeling, no matter what you do together, whatever, man. But people are afraid. I think that fear is going to shift things dramatically. There's a lot of millennials that don't want to do it, and they don't want to get married either. Their mothers are telling the sons not to get married because it's a bad business deal. That you get married, you get divorced, you lose your money, you lose this, you lose that, and whatever. And people allege all kinds of crap about you, And we're in the world. That's all you need. All your boss needs to hear is an allegation, and you're out the door without any trial or nothing, man. You're done for. So we are in that world. It's a world of fake outrage, and guys have to be careful. Guys have to be careful in college on what girls they're with, because hey, you with this girl, you get drunk, you have sex, you wake up the next morning, she says you raped me, and then goes and tells
why you have a contract.
People,
you make her say yeah on the phone.
Dude, I know this happened to a guy. He got 2 years in prison, and even his other friends stuck up for him, saying she said she wanted to be with him, and then next day she wakes up, boom, you raped me.
Well, and it does happen. I mean, that's why you got to be extra careful.
He was a black man in Maryland. That's what happened from New York. I told him not to go. I said, let them come get you.
That's why you see today. I tell the grandkids this all the time. I said, well, look, y'all go out, take your phone out, and say, hey, just tell them, hey, all you got to just say, we're having sexual consent, and you got that in your phone. Lock your phone and leave it alone. I said, because if you don't, if somebody wants to get even with you down the line 10 years later, a year later for something you made, or maybe after you broke up with them or something, I said it's dangerous for guys today. So
he lost his college. He lost his funding for college, and he had to go to jail for 2 years, man. That's so messed up.
So what's the smallest city in the world? Anybody know? I'll give y'all a book if you know.
And you mean in the world?
In the world, yeah. In the world, not in the country, in the world. What's the smallest city in the world? It's currently 209 countries now. It went up again. So the smallest city in the world had 511 people in 2021. Now it's got 510 people. By the way, we have one listener there right now, live in this country where there's only 510 people. We have one listener. It's Vatican City.
The Pope is listening.
Somebody listening, and then next up is how do you say this? TUVALU. We actually have listeners in there right now. There's only 11,000 people in there, and there's 6 people listening.
Tavalu, is that the Pacific Islands, man?
I have no idea. And then there's Nauru, Paludi, San Marino, Liechtenstein, Marshall Islands, St. Kitts, Greenland. Look at Greenland, got 56,000 people in it, man. Ooh. Look at that. You know what cracks me up is some of these countries are fairly big and they have no population like Russia. But some of these other ones are too.
Almost no COVID up there. No COVID deaths in Greenland.
But it's so cool when I'm going through.
Have you ever seen the place? I mean, video and all that. It's very, it's obviously it's very cold, but they have like a lot of oil. Everything is oil drilling and surviving through that. So the populations are all in one area. You
know? What country? What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about United Arab Emirates. I think they got around 10 million, if I remember right. It's been a while since I looked. Well, you know what? I'll look on the list. Hold on, I haven't closed it yet.
They're forever building.
9,890,000. So yeah, 10
I like that lifestyle, man. You wear a sheet, walk around.
Yeah, you got nothing underneath.
I would
It's
have
always a toga party in Saudi Arabia.
Nothing on, man.
They don't wear nothing on. That's part of the deal.
Commando. Let it all hang out. That's family jewels. One thing going one way, the other thing's going the other way. Shoom, 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 like that. And I got my sheet on.
So, no, Bruce, you were wrong about the world's population. A lot of people have been in. It's actually grown.
I'm going to do that, man. I'm going to go there and change my name to Shake Your Booty.
You've never been to a toga party?
Shake
you
your
live
booty.
in New York, man. You never been to a toga party?
Come to United Arabs and see me. Shake your booty.
The next conference we'll do a toga party.
Women aren't allowed to yell at you there,
Oh, Lord.
You can't drink, but I don't drink.
No, that's not true. Wait. That's not true, ladies and gentlemen. They can't yell at men that are from Saudi, but they can yell at Mike because he's from New York.
So yalla, yalla, yalla.
They'll probably get extra lovins for yelling at an American.
Yalla, 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 yalla. And they come bring me. Bring me my sandwich. I want my sandwich.
Let me get the rest of this population out of here. So, y'all know what the world's population is. I mean, I've been watching people send me stuff like 7.3 billion, 7.5 billion. We do have this thing called the internet because y'all are typing me on it. Currently, we're only 24 million from 8 billion. 8 billion. That means just in the last decade, we've added 1 billion people to the planet, which means in the next half a decade, we're going to add another billion. Pretty soon, it's going to be every 2.5 years, it's going to be 1 billion people. It might be time to go to Mars. Elon, if you're listening, baby, I think you sexy man. So I want to go to Mars with you. Don't get no ideas now because I don't swing like a monkey, but still.
You see, Elon got outed for having sex with his best friend's wife and all that. There's some stuff going on there,
Go Elon, buddy. You show him how to work.
Gave her his PayPal.
He is an emperor, man. Leave the
Emperor Elon. Well, his father's 70-something. He just had a kid with his daughter.
What's he got? Like 11 kids? I forgot how many he's got.
His daughter-in-law, whatever she is doing. Oh my God. Keep it in the family, man. In the family tree. So, that's the deal. I don't care what people do as long as they're not hurting anybody,
Yeah, so he's got 9 kids, people. 9 kids. Elon Musk got 9 kids. And one of the articles I read a while back, he gives all the moms $5 million at birth. And then, of course, he helps with the kids along the way. And some of these kids are grown now. Only one of them don't like him, and she's the one that don't know what sex she is. So I'm not sure what to think.
So you got that $5 million baby coming out. You're like, yeah. Come on, man. Slap some ass, Elon. Got that 5 million in the hole.
You got that 5 million in the hole. I know it's. Well, look. Oh, by the way, if anybody knows Elon, or we've been trying to get hold of him, we really want to bring him on the science show and just have him sit down and have a chat with him. I don't know what he's got. I'm sure it's on the list. Whatever I was looking at, I'm sure it's all in there.
5 million per head.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 5 million.
Look at Siamese twins. You still get the 10 million.
He has 9 children. His first wife has 5 with him.
It's busy.
And then and some of them were the mom didn't actually had them. They were they inseminated somebody else. Yeah, surrogate babies. And it's Elon. Some of these girls don't want to mess up their body to have a baby for Elon. But let me tell you what. Somebody said, "Go forth and procreate." He took it to heart, man.
Joe, are you saying women mess up their bodies by giving birth? Did you just say that, Joe?
I did. And some women bounce back from it like a trooper, and some don't. And you never know which women that are going to be.
A lot of them want to hold on to that weight because they get used to all this sitting and eating. But I think it's a goal for a lot. There's people out there that, they want to have kids. It's a very interesting subject with women when you talk about babies, and every last one of them will get emotional, even if they see one, you know what I mean? Like they're close proximity, even no matter what their age, even when they're like old, they still get that feeling, that motherly feeling, even if they never never had a kid. So it's kind of interesting, When you ask them if they're pregnant, it's a very tender response that you get. Of course, I go up to women all the time who are fat and ask them if they're pregnant. What do you do? I'm not pregnant. Oh, sorry. When's the Cheez-Its due? No, I mean, like in my last job, that was one of the things in doing medical, data collecting, basically. And then you ask them if they're pregnant. It's like, so, I mean, it's a very tender issue with women. I think most women are responsible. Most women don't want to run out and have all these abortions or whatever. I think they want to have that child. And once that child's grown, they kind of got nothing to do. And, they want more. Usually the grandchildren come along so they can kind of take care of that. But that's the motherly instinct. There's something really cool about it. I've dated girls that didn't have kids. I've dated women that did. The ones that did, they definitely have a more rounded feel to them, of something that you want to be with. The ones that never have kids, I think that there's some kind of weird imbalance there, man. Not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that just what I've observed. My observation,
I've been listening to some of CNN's other people lately, and they're on Joe Biden's ass. They're talking about why Democrats don't get about America, how Americans vote. He said they're just trying to wake. Some people say it's just a way CNN's trying to help wake up Democrats, but there's nothing for Democrats to wake up to.
You see, Chris Cuomo is coming back as an anchor to some side network that no one's ever heard of.
Well, I don't understand why he didn't get more money out of CNN. I mean, they fired him basically because of his brother. I mean,
we have a place for him here if he wants to come be an anchor.
Oh, he'd have to pay to be on this network, though. We don't let anybody on for free, man. You either got to bring a sponsor or get paid.
He's got Cuomo money, man. He's got plenty of dough. Old Democrat
Putin's former banker warns about his health. So there've been a lot of leaks about Putin's health lately. A lot of people don't seem to think he's going to make it out through the end of the year. I know one of his daughters was staying out of the country. She came back to start spending time with him. That's never a good sign. When your rebellious teenage daughter decides she needs to come home and hang out with dad, that's always pretty much a sign that it's not a good thing.
I feel like Russia. Yeah, go ahead.
I have a hard time hating on Putin. I mean, Putin's always been a ballsy kind of guy.
Here we go. With the Russian.
He's a
We're going to get more
man.
Russian sympathizer hate mail.
Well, I got nothing against Levitsky, whatever his name is, a Ukrainian guy. I mean, he's kind of ballsy too, even though I think a lot of his balls is fake. Yeah, Levitsky.
He's got no money. Screw him.
No, I don't think about money, but I'm saying, I mean, he's a little ballsy, but I really haven't. I think some of his stuff is actually acting. Putin's just. Putin didn't care. Putin had man boobs. He still ripped his shirt off and got on his horse. He's like, look, I'm president, the second most powerful person in the world, but screw you.
Sun Tzu in The Art of War would have never destroyed his country, his territory. That you would have backed off and waited and played.
The thing about Sun Tzu is he was a great fighter, but he wasn't really a great politician. So you don't know how he would have ended up.
I'm saying this guy destroyed his country for a grudge match. And it should have never have happened. He definitely, in America, we didn't have the leadership that we should have had to prop up the guy when they were massing on the border. And Biden kept believing Putin, saying these were training missions, these were training skirmishes. Nothing against the Ukraine. We're not going to invade the Ukraine. And they took him at his word like a bunch of idiots. I remember saying it on my show, like, I can't believe these people are taking Putin at his word, right? Not very smart. It's not a promotional bell ringer for someone, especially in the world of intelligence. Come on, man. You mean to tell me the CIA and NSA and all these agencies didn't know what the hell was going on? Of course they intercept signals, commands, all kinds of stuff. We know everything. Let's just say that we know everything. They play like they don't, but Joe, intelligence. They know stuff. It's their business to know things. They know dirty presidents. They know Biden crimes. They know Hunter Biden. That's the second time I did that. Hunter Biden crimes. But these people don't live on the same level as we do. They're above the law, and that's the issue. But man, with Putin and the whole bit, I predicted on my last show yesterday, that there's going to be a worldwide banquet. Pelosi. I feel it in my bones. I see the markets; these bubbles are there, and there's nothing really sustaining these bubbles much. And when those things leave, the bubbles will burst, and also, calamity. I think that the fires, the floods, and whatever, causing billions of bucks in damage. A lot of these places, especially in third world countries, second world countries, can't fix those places up. They don't have the money. We don't have the money to give them. So there's a lot going on there, and I think that we're in a dangerous place. But and you see how people react when their hand is forced. Not good, man.
Yeah, no, not good. And see, that's one of the things we were talking about Putin the other day at another group, and so one of his generals is in. I always want to say they asked for asylum or something, but these generals are just people who retired out of the Russian army or the Chinese army that are now living in the UK because they don't want to live in their own countries for whatever reason. And one of them the other day, he said, he was doing an interview with one of the British news with BBC, and he said, Putin thinks he's winning this war. Y'all know that, right? He said the problem is when Putin figures out he's not winning the war. He said that's when the shit's going to hit the fan.
Well, he's being lied to by his commanders. Yeah. They don't want to tell him the truth because he keeps killing people.
Yeah.
Who tell him the truth?
Well, he don't even have to. Ukrainians are killing. What are they on General 9 now or General 10? I mean, God, they've got really great intel knowing where Russians generals are all the time. I mean, Lord, they've definitely that's the problem when you fight an ex-satellite or a friend or an ex-friend because they probably have friends in your country. So it's making it harder. Like Russia when they originally invaded Ukraine a few years back, they had a lot of Russians living there, so it made it easier. Well, now the Ukrainians have a lot of friends over there, and a lot of Russians don't want to fight this war.
Nope.
The people in their country don't want to. The media is doing everything they can to whip up a frenzy, and the people in the country are like, "No, we want food."
It's a blackout. When they talk about Ukraine, they dump it all on the Ukraine that they're Nazis and this is what they've done. Well, a lot of people don't know that there's been fighting for years, skirmishes with the Russian separatists who were taking over the eastern part of the Ukraine and then, the rest of the Ukraine. So that's what Putin was referencing. But he just wants to take over again. He wants the land, and doesn't care how he's going to get it. Not a very good mission.
Well, I don't know who was this whole thing was just ridiculous. I mean, whoever decided that we were going to invade Ukraine, somebody told him, "Oh man, there'll be no problem at all. We'll be in because they went for Kiev right off the get go.
Yeah,
so we'll just roll through Kiev and it'll be over. We'll have him and we'll execute him, and we'll just bring the Ukraine back into the Russia, or we'll put a puppet government in, one or the other." But that's not what went down. The Ukrainians said, "Screw you. We actually have some military and we will fight back." But I mean, they've got 40 million, I think, living there, or 38 million living there, and Russia's got 144 million. Now, of course, the funny part for Russia is more than half their population is over the age of 60. Yeah. So their young population is probably only about 20 or 25% of the country's population. And, most of them are not in the military. They don't want to be in the military. And you don't know how many of them might defect if you try to stick them in the military.
A lot of them have left already. That's why Putin encouraged them to stay and fight, so. But, I mean, ultimately, what's going to happen, man? I mean, it's a bad situation, and Russia is going to have problems for many years to come because of this,
Well, they're going to end up bankrupt because, people are still cutting them off for the oil. They're like, "Oh, we need to sell our oil. But people are still cutting them off. And plus, according to one of their generals, they're burning through oil in their country like you wouldn't believe. They had to up production to keep up with it.
See, but like that lesser of a demand, it throws like in America now, we have our oil refineries kind of thrown they get the backlash of people not buying so much fuel, people not traveling as much, and gasoline also when it comes to oil is just, as well as I do, just a little bit. The gas that comes off is actually the crap that they get when they refine the oil that they're going to use for other things like plastics and whatever. So this is thrown a backlog of materials all across the board. Now couple that with shipment delays from China because of COVID. They still have a huge problem, especially in Shanghai. with COVID-19, and I know there's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Also, those trains getting robbed in LA when these ships are coming in, they're going on these trains, and these people are robbing these trains, pulling everything out. The tracks are all messed up, so they can't roll the trains. So there's a series of problems that aren't being solved, and at some point, those problems are going to get way, way worse, where they're going to be out of control. And this is what these guys, these Democrats, politicians in general, just wait for it until it becomes a huge mess, and then you don't know what to do, and that's where we're at right now with these guys. They don't know what the hell to do. If you imagine let AOC run stuff, the things that she says, she's crazy, and she has no reality of life, like what the struggle of life is, and any of that, man, for people. You know what I mean? It's very arrogant the way they are. I find them to be racist and arrogant, and they're real haters. I don't know. Everything that they say that they're not, they are. You're always the opposite of what you say you are. Isn't that funny? I tell people I'm a pirate, so take that as.
Yes, I'm a bloody pirate.
Now we're Russian generals.
Give
me a yacht. Give me a yacht and a palace and some of those Russian chicks, man. I'm there. I'll end that war in 7 days.
No, Marshall. Yeah, I did say earlier 9 kids. No, and Mike might be one of them. I wish he was, because we'd have some money to spend. Which you want him to adopt? You just send him an email. Say, adopt me, Elon. I wish you'd adopt me for that matter. You mean Florida Man story? So you're a listener to the WJ show, aren't you? If you know the Florida Man shows. No, I don't mind plugging. I mean, Walton and Johnson. No, well, one of them's passed now. Walton did, I think. So they got Kennedy filling in. But yeah, I know the Florida Man stories. What about it? Of course they're true. It's just news from Florida they use. Just a lot of people live in Florida, almost 30 million now, and or 26 million now. So it gets a little stupid sometimes over there. So y'all do know at the rate at the rate California is bleeding, and the rate Texas is growing, it will become the largest state in the union pretty soon. I don't know exactly what dates, but it is growing at a fast rate, and California is bleeding people at a faster rate. Yeah. So, keep your fingers crossed. Let's just hope it doesn't go blue. That's all I can say. Actually, they're more worried about California and New York going red at the rate they're bleeding, because they're not losing Republicans, they're losing Democrats.
But do you think that most Democrats are really that thick? Like they're into all this stuff going on, or do you think that they're they can't believe it, they're mortified, and they're becoming dormant? I mean, it's going to be very hard for them to vote for anybody. Their president can't even make it, not even 2 years. And look what you got, and look at the mess he's caused.
Well, anybody want to take a bet? The House passes ban on assault weapons. I bet you money it don't make it through the Senate. Anybody want to take the bet? Easy money.
You know why? Because you can't define an assault weapon. And in the legal terms, an assault weapon is any weapon used to assault somebody. That could be anything. That could be a banana. Could be anything.
Yeah, it could be. Could be a machete.
I've assaulted people with bananas, man. Goddamn right. As a Russian general, you think I don't play? I don't play by the rules.
I can't say I've assaulted people with it, at least, but I've done other things, which we can't mention on the radio show. But still,
like what?
Interesting. We can't mention on the radio show.
Come on, it's 11:42 at night.
This is a PG-17 radio show, and this is more like a XXX thing. So we can't be talking about it here. Oh, wait, I forgot about this one. Somebody sent me this way earlier. So we all know that Chicago, with the exception of maybe New Orleans, is one of the biggest shitholes in America. So, we all know about what's her name? I can't remember her name now. The prosecutor there. This woman is the worst. They're trying to do everything they can to get rid of this woman because all she's ever after is a political agenda or her top concerns. There's nothing else she even worries about. So she had a bunch of people just resign, just like that other liberal did in that other state, had a bunch of people resign. So people are now getting to the point where they've had enough and they just resign. But when you do that, they win because they just replace you with the people who are going to serve them and kiss their ass. So don't resign. People stand up to them and fight with them. Call them out on the carpet. Call HR, man, and say, hey, look the way I'm being treated. Don't just, quit, though. When you quit, they win. Just keep it in mind. All she's going to do now is hire all the people she wants to replace your ass. Oh, look, I didn't even have to fire. They quit. I don't have to pay them unemployment or nothing now. And don't forget, Joe Biden is building the wall. He said, his words, a quote, "I will never build a blank wall between us and Mexico." He actually used the GD word, but I'm not going to. So there you go. But we're running short on time. And before we do this, Xi Jinping, you know I love you, dude. I don't want to get kicked out of your country. We have a big, huge audience over there, but come on. You know, you talking with Joe Biden, you know he's not going to be president forever. You know, he's got maybe 2 more years. Starting to fight with him, knowing that there's going to be somebody else coming in, is a sure way to get your ass kicked.
Biden asked for nothing. In that conversation, Biden asked for nothing. Xi Jinping said, if you invade Taiwan, there's going to be blood for blood, all this other stuff. So he threatened us over Taiwan. And Biden was response,
oh, yeah. And the, what was his name, came out today to say, well, I can't remember who it was. A guy who runs the military came out and said, so I want you to understand this. When you said this, Mr. Xi Jinping, if something happens, bodily harm comes to Nancy, we will consider that a declaration of war, not an act of war, but a declaration of war. So
the problem is a lot of Americans won't feel that bad.
You know, well, we don't want that to happen in Taiwan, man.
Nancy Pelosi's plane, and you don't have to give her that severance package. I hate to say it.
And that's a good thing you said that, because
we got money issues here in the U.S. We got to be really, smart about our finances. Come on.
So, but see, that's the thing about Taiwan. We have to show our support for Taiwan. Biden said we would defend Taiwan if China invaded. Yeah. So, I mean, we're kind of stuck now, so we might as well send somebody over there to look around. And let's be honest. If Nancy gets killed, nobody's going to care. Well, maybe somebody in San Francisco, but the rest of the country's going to be like, oh, thank God. She's gone, finally. Nobody else is going to care. And nobody in this country is going to. Nobody's going to want to go to war over Nancy Pelosi, but that was a threat. And that's how everybody took it that way, except for JB. JB's, I don't know.
No, I'm saying it's not a threat to us.
Well, no.
It's a threat to the system in general. You know what I mean?
Well,
we can shoot down Chinese planes all day long.
I know. Well, China's in trouble right now because, one, getting into it with Trump, all them sanctions, all that stuff is on there, and Biden hasn't lifted them yet. And there's other stuff going on. Plus, because his ports have been closed so long, it has forced people to get their stuff from other places. Well, no one's really gotten over the fact that China's Wuhan just contaminated and shut the world down for 3 years. No one's gotten past that. Europe don't want to buy anything from them anymore.
And what it cost economically, the destruction that it did, of people's personal lives, dying from COVID, losing their money from COVID, to the governments, and then they never answered for that. And Joe Biden won't make them answer for that either.
Well, I'm not really.
If he's getting payments, let me tell you, man. If the Biden family is getting payments from China and they made millions off of China, there's a connection there that you're not going to expect any kind of. Joe Biden, but I don't think it's going to matter now, because I think, unfortunately for Biden, he's going to have to take action against China, or he is going to look complacent. And with this stuff going on, I don't think they care, dude. That's what I was going to say before. Basically, I think that the gloves are off. Nobody cares about how they look anymore. They don't care what kind of allegations are against them. They don't care. It's a free for all.
No, right? I think they care about these, because these you have to put somebody in jail over. This isn't something.
I would expect Cuomo to come out and run for president with his stuff. Yeah,
he's not going to run. He's too easy to pick on. And New York's not in that great of shape, even when he was governor. So the problem for any liberal right now is their states suck. And it's easy to show, hey, look, your state's in crap. We want to make our country like that? No, thank you. That's
if you listen to his idiot brother, it sounds like...
think about it. So the Republicans put up governors a lot of time for presidents, and that's why they make good presidents. But a lot of times the Democrats don't put up governors. They put congressmen or senators, and that's why they never do as good a job. Because a governor is running a state, so they at least have some idea how to run a country. Senators don't do nothing but fight and argue, and that's all they ever did. So they made crappy presidents. And Obama was a senator. Biden was a senator. Who was the last governor that was for the Democrats? You got to go all the way back to Clinton. And then you got to go way back all the way to Jesus, you got to go way back after that. But now for Republicans, I mean, Reagan was a governor, Bush was a governor. The only one that wasn't a governor was who, Mr. Blondie, Trump.
That's why we like them.
But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying, though. Because they Republicans run governors, they generally have better presidents. They usually do generally a better job. What do you mean? Who? Richard Nixon? What about Nixon? What about him? Nixon did a lot of good stuff. It just Watergate. That's what it'll always be hanging over his head.
Tricky.
He arranged the first meeting in space between the Russians and Americans. He brought normalization to China.
What he did is done all the time now. So it's kind of funny how, it's funny how what a difference. Remember, like Rob Lowe?
Oh yeah,
had that video. He was in bed with those 2 girls, right? And then it ruined his career for quite a while. I mean, there was a long time, decades, where he wasn't out there because he was known as this horrible character because he had sex with 2 girls. These days, if you don't have sex with 2 girls, they cast you out. So that's how crazy.
Unless you're part of the woke society, and then you better not be doing it. So, I'm so glad to see the woke society going away. I see all their politicians getting voted out. I've been loving CNN though all week. Oh yeah, the Democrats are going to win, and there's going to be a blue wave. I'm like,
Chris Cuomo was talking all kinds of crap about CNN, and and other people. Don Lemon and Jake Tapper, he's like going after. That's what kind of guy he is. You know what I mean? They're all the same. These people.
Well, you should hate on CNN. CNN did him wrong. I mean, you shouldn't have let him go because his brother got in trouble, and it
wasn't that. It was because he was feeding information and also killing stories that had to do with his brothers.
No, that's a good way to get you fired. But
yep.
you got.
And that's what they did. They fired him. So.
And
I don't have a problem with.
And see, Rachel's leaving NBC, but I haven't heard her going anywhere else. I haven't heard about her going to Fox or to ABC or NBC or CBS or anywhere. Maybe she's going to retire. I mean, she's pretty wealthy these days. So, CNN is probably the lowest rated network there is. ABC and CBS aren't far above them. Fox is ruling, but Fox has been ruling the news shows for a long time. They usually have 8 or 10.
CNN has no talent. They've got. The same old, and you know what I mean? There's just there's no ratings. People don't want them. Fox has the biggest ratings.
I told him I'd come do an evening show for him for $500,000 a year. It's that's cheap for a host.
That's super cheap.
Yeah, it is for a host on TV. It's a cheap price. I said, at least you'll get some entertainment out of me. But that's the problem. Whoever took over as the editor for CNN or whatever you call him, the guy who's in charge, he's a hardcore liberal. So he's pushing these hardcore stories, and it's NBC and CBS and ABC are the same way. And now they're finally realizing, we've been talking about this for 10 years, they're finally realizing it's biting them in the ass.
Yeah.
People don't want to hear it anymore. They're like, no, we know you lied about Trump. I heard a Democrat yesterday, because this guy was going on and on about, when I called in about the thing that he said about Trump, the guy calls in to the show. He said, wait a minute, Scoot. He said, or Spook, whatever his name was. He said, because there's a Scoot in the morning, it's a different guy, or a Scoot in the afternoon, whatever it is. But anyway, different guy. But still, he calls in. He's like, look. He said, all of this is BS. He said, how much has the Democrats lied to us in the last 10 years? He said, you cannot deny that this party's been lying to us nonstop for 10 years. He said, just this fiasco of Hillary and the dossier and every Democrat in the Congress and every Democrat news agency for 4 years haunted this man, and it all turned out to be a lie. Yeah. And not one apology has been issued from anybody. And you wonder why you're becoming a party, and then all you ever want to talk about is what sex somebody is, or what sex they should be going in the bathroom. No, see, that's what happened. Obama got tied up. His last 4 years got tied up in bathroom talk, and everybody just laughed their ass off at him. I mean, he couldn't do anything because the Republicans had the House and the Senate since his second year. So, I mean, there was nothing he could really do, write executive orders. It's just, and then here comes Joe Biden. He's going to do the same thing. But somehow the progressive is not the largest part of their party, but somehow it always gets in there and starts to cause trouble. So they've got like 10 progressives in their whole party and, as representatives, and all the rest of them are not. But yet they still bend to that. Well, you got to wonder what that's about. It's some kind of ignorance. They think it's a young thing. It ain't a young thing. Young people don't think like that. Nope. Jesus, I'm so surprised. Yes,
The young
Mark.
people
Young and
think
dumb.
they have no future, man. They're
But that's
seeing
every
things slide.
generation. That's not this.
I didn't
That's the
see
thing.
no. I'm Generation X. We didn't care about that type of stuff because
Yeah, but Generation X didn't think they were going to have a
you're
future either.
surviving and fulfilling your life in the moment and trying to have a good time as you're doing it.
The baby boomers didn't think they were going to have a generation. They thought it was going to end in a blaze of flame and nukes. The X generation thought they were going to die. Every generation so far didn't think they were going to have a future. And one of them may be right somewhere along the line, but so far we haven't been. And there has been a future. And you can't, at some point in life, you got to realize, well, you know what? Yeah, there might be a future.
We're hitting 8 billion people. I don't think that their naysaying is working very well.
No. And I remember when the think tank put out the largest population they think Earth can sustain, which is around 25 billion. Of course, by that time, you and I have been long dead, but that's less than 500 years.
No, we're gonna get that Mormon underwear. Then we're gonna be we're gonna be genitals on the air. You know what I mean? In a jar. They'll have our brains and they'll have our genitals. I'll be
Cindy,
like,
I'll send you
Joe, how you doing over there
literature.
in your jar, Joe? They'll come in and feed us like fish every day.
Cindy said you can give her some genital underwear, whatever the hell that's supposed to mean. No, we're getting ready to get out of here. We got a couple of stories. We got to get out of here. Man? How do I know? We on the radio. Let's see. What the hell? Who sent me this? Annie. Oh wait, an Antifa fearing militia has called itself the Action in Mariposa County as officials battle raging wildfires. What? Okay, that story makes no sense. Somebody clarify. Yeah, I have no idea what the hell that's.
You don't hear much from Antifa because the Democrats are in control. If they were in control, Antifa would be out there slamming everything because they get paid by dark money.
But they look when Obama was president, they were all over rampaging and tearing.
Yeah, they get paid with dark money. They're rampaging against Republicans. That's why they pushed me so far right, and I don't want to be pushed right. But I don't think it matters anyway. I think that the whole thing is written and everything is the way it is.
Now, another member of Congress, if China's threats to Pelosi lead to actual harm, it's a declaration of war, and we will immediately strike back whether Biden wants to or not.
6 months ago, we laid out what was going to happen in the interim future in the United States with Biden there and in this mess. And I think everything has been fulfilled and then some, and there's still a baby formula shortage. You see how they kill stuff in the press though? Like you'll never know it because the media is not talking about it, not really anyway. Fox, but they dismiss Fox as, as haters because, the Democrats are in this. So whatever. People are struggling. Let's just put it that way. And they need to be taken, that needs to be taken into consideration in representing people. That's simple.
Okay, who sent me this crap? Hold on. Democrats hold slight edge over GOP. Abortion more important to voters than inflation, polls show. Yeah, what poll is this, buddy? I want to see this poll that says that. Every poll I've seen shows the country is way more interested in inflation, money, and something else, but it had nothing to do with abortion. Abortion was like fifth or sixth on the list.
They're trying to reroute people's thinking and influence them. That's what those stories are. They're not stories based in reality.
But let me explain something. Democrats, this is something obvious you haven't learned. So if you keep saying this, the Democrats won't go out and vote. They'll think, oh, well, we're already winning. There's no need to go out and vote. Right now, if you're saying there's going to be a red wave, they might actually get out and vote.
I don't know the way it's soured, man. The Democrats are mad.
And I don't think they're going to vote.
They're very flighty people. They would vote Republican just for revenge, man. I know Democrats.
Well, they keep saying about these edges and then they don't want to admit how many people they lost. They've already lost enough people to the Republican Party to turn most of their elections.
Whoever's outvoted, man, whoever's in, vote them out. How's that?
And it's time to get rid of them. Stop sending me. Yes, we know the poor DC mayor needs help.
Yes, so how are they gonna get rid of Biden and Kamala Harris at the same time? They're running out of time. They really don't have much time. They've got a little more than 2 years, truly. But they have to be running way before that, So how do you? I mean, I know how I do it. But I'm saying, how are they going to do it?
I don't know what they're going to do. I really, at this point, I really think that the country is screwed unless we get rid of the Democrats. I think the country is screwed.
They would have to do it in a way that they can save face and also get support, garner support. You know, oh, the president died of natural causes, you know, and oh, the poor president. And Kamala goes and cackles and laughs herself to death, you know. And she's dead. Oh my God, the vice president laughed herself to death.
Poor Kamala. I don't know what we're going to do with Kamala, but it is possible she could get in. More than likely, so the Republicans might work a deal with the Democrats if they want to get rid of Biden, but they're going to have to get rid of Kamala too. So what you might see is a compromise because the House, whoever's holding the House, is going to be the next president. So if it's the Republicans have a red wave and they win, they'll get in. But they may make a compromise and say, okay, we'll go for that, but you've got to let one of our candidates for president be the VP. So they might go for something like that. More than likely, we're going to keep these two idiots till the end of time, and then we'll go on to something new. Unless China then starts a war, and then we can't never get rid of him.
If I know Pelosi like I do, how diabolical she is, man. Diabolical, right? She's going to craft something where Biden's going to be pushed out of the way, and then Kamala will say that she's stepping down because she's too distraught or whatever the hell they're going to have to make up. And they're going to have somebody else. So they're going to have to pay Kamala a lot of money. She'll take it. Because you really want to be president, you know, especially in when things are really bad. They're going to have to move someone to the forefront that is very likable, that can reach across the aisle, that can appeal to people in the middle of the road if they want to save the show. But I suspect that they don't. I suspect they want the Republicans to take over because then they can finger point and get the funding. The Democrats never made so much money ever in their lives when Trump was president, with getting donations from people who were flipped out because Trump was in there. So there's two sides of the coin, right? One side, the other side, and they both support each other. It's a symbiotic relationship, man. You know, so I think that's what they want. They don't want to save the day. I don't think the Democrats wanted even the House this time because they have to work. They have to work and show results. These people don't do that. They're not workers. They don't run anything. They don't do anything. You know, they just lie, cheat, and steal, right?
They do a lot of cheating and stealing. Guys, no, we're getting ready to get out of here in a few minutes because we got to go. We're at the top.
Look at like, you know, so like I said in the beginning of the show, Hershey's warning it won't be able to meet the demand for Halloween candy.
Wait, say that again. I did right over.
Hershey's is warning they're not going to be able to meet the demand for Halloween candy. How's that?
Yeah, well, if y'all can't get them, we got lots down here, people. I'll get y'all something. It's all over the place. Lowe's and Home Depot are full with this shit stacked to the same.
No, they're saying the supply, like they're not going to be able to put out these supplies because of this backlog of stuff that they need. There's a candy shortage going on, you know.
That's what I'm saying.
Or they just said that for people to run out and buy candy early. You know, Halloween candy gets.
Well, you can't rule that out either. Yeah,
Halloween candy gets into the stores around the 1st of August, which is a couple of days from now. So they're putting the story out so people rush out and buy it. But here at UPRN, we've got the best deal for everyone out there. If they send us $1, we will send you 50 cents worth of candy. So how about that? We pledge for every $1 you send us, you're going to get 50 cents worth of candy, not including shipping.
Wow. So rising crime is forcing Starbucks to close popular locations.
Minimum $1,000.
Well, yeah, send me lots of money. Wait, I got to go through these stories and we're going to get out of here. What is this? So Republicans ready to build lease. So they want to set up now that if China attacks Taiwan, that we will lease them any weapons that they need, planes, jets, missiles, nukes, whatever they need. That's got to piss China right the hell off. Really, it's got to. But you're going to like this one the best. Democrats push bill replacing police with mental health professionals in emergencies involving mentally ill.
Is that so? You want a psychiatrist to pull up when someone's got a gun to your head and they're going to blow your brains out? You know.
Yes. Well, Mr. Michael, Please come down. Please let the lady go. Don't pull the. Oh well, guess what? I'm leaving.
I ain't letting anybody go, cop ass mofo.
I know. So I mean, So look, you want to send the mental health? That's fine. Send 2 cops with the mental health.
Please put your gun down.
Because it's a much bigger chance that this guy's going to kill you if, or this girl's going to kill you for that matter, if the cop's not there. It's less likely that you're going to get killed if the cop's there.
Are you reading the headlines? Are you reading what's going on out there? People are getting killed and mangled and messed up and whatever. I mean, like, it's crazy. Stabbed, pushed in front of trains, pushed off buildings, whatever, set on fire, man. People have lost it. And the ones who have lost it were the ones with these mental problems to begin with. They're not in these mental health facilities. They're running amok in the streets, and now they get the green light. Think, if you're offended, you can hurt the person who's offending you no matter what you feel. Oh, my God. It makes you want to stay inside is what it does, man.
So Nancy's still saying she's going. She's still going.
Good for her. You know what? Good for Nancy Pelosi. That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of evil to deal with, man. I don't think that they could mess with her because she's got the evil, you know? You know what I mean? She's a demon. I don't know if they can do that.
So more financial analysts all over the media, and because they're saying it's a double standard. It's definitely a recession. Why aren't you calling it a recession? Why do you keep trying to spend that the economy's good when it's not? They're all over these people, man.
People know. You think people don't know? Think they can't look in their own wallet? You think they can't look at their own bank account, what they have coming in, what they're spending, and what they got to spend on gas to get to work every day and whatever? They're touting that gas has gone down a couple of pennies because it's gone down because people aren't using it as much, and now there's that backlog like I was talking about earlier, where the prices are. The price per barrel went down 6 weeks ago, but it's taken all that time to reflect any kind of price change, which is ridiculous because when it goes up instantaneously, So, but either way, the price has gone down, and they're touting this, but it hasn't gone down locally. The prices are still $4.20, $4.50, $4.80, $5 something a gallon.
Well, we're down 70 cents right now. We're sitting at around $3.50 a gallon,
which is still unbelievably high.
Yeah, it is. Under Trump, it was $1.10. It was 99 cents for a long time. Then when
but Biden is touting this like a victory. It's nothing that he did. It's nothing that he did. He didn't do anything to make the price that. That's the market demand and what's going on. So these guys, they just want to lie, and anything that comes up as an excuse, they're going to use that as the lie, and that's it. That's as simple as that.
Yeah. Look at this! A bunch of people said they're going to oppose McCall as leader of the Senate next time. Good. Oh, Herschel Walker is running. Look at Herschel go. Oh man, I got a lot of interesting stuff. We got to get out of here, guys. There's a lot more stuff in here. There's always a lot of news to go over.
We're leaving early.
Yeah, well, we're actually leaving a little early. No, we're actually on time. Wait, what? So there's so much stuff coming across. Well, it depends what surveys and polls you want to believe. All the polls have Biden 40 to 31%. So his average is somewhere around 35 or 36. So that's where he's actually sitting. The Democrats, when I checked a little while ago, they were sitting at 17%. So regardless what they want to say and whatever CNN wants to say that abortion's more important than eating and driving, that's a lie. You got to remember something, ladies and gentlemen. They can whip all the frenzy they want up, but the amount of people that abortions are going to affect yearly is not enough to change a valid vote. It's just not. And even if you take everybody who's had them for the last 10 or 20 years, it's just not enough. You need more than that. And people, and here's one for you right off the bat. So at least 50 or 60% of Americans are practicing, a religion. All of them are all pro-life. So anytime you hear somebody say 85% of America is for abortion, they're lying. It's just an outright lie.
Here's our song.
And stop putting out the lies. Get the facts.
Now who says I don't speak out as plain as day, and fellow Texans?
Give me some
I'm for
praise.
progress and the flag. Long may
You better leave in Texas.
Do you remember this one?
He lives in New York, people. Forgive him.
come to greatness.
I don't want to see no Texans killing, but
This is what.
So it follows that I cannot tell a lie.
What the hell did he say?
Remember the best little whorehouse in Texas?
yeah, I remember.
I have heard you and I understand. He did. He does the. There you go.
I love to dance a little side
Texas
step.
two-step.
Now they see me, now they don't have and down.
I love this man. You know,
We're going to have to take the crack away from Mike.
It's a song about a dude who's a politician. He just, you know, when they ask him these questions, he's like, "I've heard you and I understand. I'm getting to the bottom of it right away. We're going to start a committee. See you later." That's what they do. It's called the Texas sidestep, man. You know, you do now. You see me, now you don't, and then they ask you a question. You know, whatever, man. That's what's going on. Biden has been in politics for decades, man, decades. He's never been effectual. He's never. Even Trump said that Obama took him off the trash. You know, took him off the trash.
He was responsible for some pretty hard drug bills, mostly affected blacks on crack and stuff like that. He's the one that got all those bills.
The crime
passed.
bill in 1993, which is Bill Clinton's baby, and they put 100,000 cops on the street. These days, they would never do that. These days, they'd be like, "Oh my God, we can't do that. Put cops on the street."
But why? But why is that? So when you ask them why is that, because they're scared it's going to affect their black vote. So they're just assuming that many black people are criminals. That's why I don't understand why any black person would ever vote Democrat. I mean, these are the Jim Crow people. These are the people that opposed the freedom of the slaves. These are the people who wrote these laws. I mean, they're freaking founders of the KKK, but yet for some reason you think because Kennedy had really good press, you think they're out to help you. And like Trump, when Trump asked him, when he got on Stephanie asked him, that's why he broke a record with black votes. He said, "Well, you tell me what the Democrats have done for you in the last 30 years. Just tell me." And if I agree, I agree. But nobody, not even one person, tried to even debate him on it.
Nope.
Because there's nothing to talk about. So, and affirmative action, by the way, in case y'all didn't know this, affirmative action was a Republican-led bill, just like freedom of the slaves was. So I have no idea, why you would turn on the party that actually got you freed and got you equal rights.
Cornell University removed Lincoln's bust from an exhibit they had up there.
Why would they even do that? What did Lincoln? How did Lincoln offend anyone?
Because of a complaint.
He didn't even own slaves.
So they removed his bust and a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that they got blind, that blind rage, man, that rabid dog type of rage, and they just listen to their masters.
But again, that's Americans not doing this. Okay, so all you people who go to school there, why don't you stand up for yourselves? Why are you not like, what the hell's wrong with you?
They're too busy doing school. And Cornell's very competitive, man. That's why a lot of those guys fling themselves off those
that's
bridges.
where you learn to stand up and stuff.
It's one of the biggest suicide colleges in America. They play that down. I think the first year I lived in Ithaca, there was about a dozen. They just throw themselves off of bridges. These students, like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like it down to the gorges, and they're dead. They're gone. Cornell downplays everything, man. It's the power of politics. They're the biggest game in town. They're a multi-billion-dollar organization. What they want, they own most of the county.
It's time to bring a change to politics. Oh, Mary, I don't know. I do know there was a new party formed. I've heard it twice now. I know the lead is one lead is a Democrat, one's a Republican. It's supposed to be like a centralist party type thing. I don't know. No, somebody did the Avenger Awakening party way back. This is something different. I really don't know. Let me see right quick if I can find it. It had just a quirky, stupid name.
Who did what?
Oh, party. Let's see. There's a new political party that was formed.
It's called the Beelzebub Party.
No, that ain't it. What the hell is the name of it?
Beelzebub. You are in control.
Let's see. Forward Party 3 political groups merged to create a party chaired by Yang Whitman. What's the name of the damn party? Former Republicans and Democrats from this third joined a new party being formed. The merger of 3 political groups to have emerged recent years. The reaction of America. Still, what's the name? I mean, sometimes the centrist to launch forward new third U.S. political party. So yeah, it's going to be type of but they actually already named it. But it's going to be like a middle. It's a party I've been saying we should have been needing for a while. I said we've been needing a centralist party for a decade because what'll happen is if you got a centralist party, most Americans are in the center. The majority of us are in the center, not on the far edges like conservatives and liberals. So what will eventually happen is about 50% of America will vote to central. And the other two parties will get about 20 or 25%. So in order for things to get done in our country, one or the other party will have to side with the central. So like abortion. So if the central party's into that and the Liberal Party sides, they'll win. If they're not, and the Republican sides, they'll lose. But it would just be a better party. It'd be a more representation of America instead of what we got today. The two parties we have today, which is the rich conservatives and the rich liberals, do not represent our country. It's not that everybody in our country is poor. It's just that everybody in our country is rich. Most Americans are somewhere happily in between, banging out their lives, just trying to enjoy it and have a decent life and not have to be always being told how shitty everything is because we had crappy politicians. America's supposed to be about, enjoying your life, not worrying about everything every damn day.
Because we pay for it. We pay for that protection. We pay for that security. We pay. We don't pay for people to take criminals and put them back on the street again and ignore the laws and ignore the statutes.
It's called, this name's got to go. It's called the Forward Party. Forward Party, yes. I'm already disgusted. Anyway, it's supposed to be a party to change it around. It's officially a third party now. They've got strong following. They got pretty good money behind them. So we'll see what happens. Maybe Mitch McConnell will go there after he loses his job. Who knows? Hopefully, if it's a real party, I'm going to have to look who's in it. Maybe it will become the clean party, the party that doesn't get these old sugar nuggets who just are here for the money and the power. People, what do you think Nancy Pelosi's here for? Do you really honestly think Nancy gives a shit about you? You should have learned the day she showed the 10,000 different ice creams in her freezer. Right then and there that, she had every ice cream you could think of.
Talenti gelato, man.
Yes.
Because they don't get denied anything. These are the wealthy, rich, and powerful. They're above the law. They can crash their cars. They can crash their Porsches at drunk driving. Nothing ever happens to them, So they get to live above the law. They don't have a true understanding of what life is for people.
I might have to join this party. Dozens of former Democrats and Republicans to form new party bid to appeal to voters unhappy with America's two-party system.
You need more than that.
Yeah, well, not really. There's only 100 in the Senate, and 400 in the House. So you really don't need that many people to rule our country. If you can get 100 or 200 people in their party to get them in the things, because these are all people who have served. If you can get even half of that many in there, you got control.
Tea Party, Green Party, all these people have these lofty ambitions, and it all came out the same crap.
But the Tea Party and Green Parties are just part of a party. They're not a separate party. They're part of the Republican and part of the Democratic Party. This is its actual own entity. So we'll see where it goes.
Independence Party. Remember the Independence? Ross Perot.
Independence wasn't really a party. Yeah, Independence is more as a loosely knit group of people. It's kind of like the Libertarians. They're not so much as a party. They don't have true representation as a party. And they don't have the big money or the big names in there. But this one seems like it's going to have
my friend Frank is the head of it. And as a matter of fact, when they put candidates forward, they always back some Republican or Democrat. They need to have their own candidates. If it's the Independence Party, you need to have your independence candidate.
But that's a problem. Most people won't run. And there have been some independents that run, by the way. And won. But the reason
these large
don't,
races, they don't support that. They support one or the other.
Yeah, because they're not going to get them in. They don't have the money.
Two choices is not a choice.
And another thing that we need to stop. So you shouldn't be able to have money sent to candidates from other states for in-state things. Running for president is one thing, but if somebody from California shouldn't be sending money to Georgia or to Louisiana.
Same for other countries. We're not allowed to take money from other countries for our own political gain. So that should be the same from state to state to state, man. Same.
No, I agree. It should be that way. It's insane this way and that way. But anyway, we got to get out of here, guys and girls. Any moans, groans, bitches, complaints, or anything else along those lines, you can write to Michelle DeRoche over at Outer Realm. She's a station manager, so she'll deal with all of that. Any other whining stuff, I don't know.
And she'll crush your nuts. She will crush your nuts.
You better be nice to Michelle.
You mess with her, she will crush your nuts.
She will.
Like crushed nuts on your ice cream, but there's no ice cream.
And actually, it might even be worse than that. Anyway, we got a guy coming up right now. You're going to hear Chasing Properties promo for Podbean. Be sure to go vote, people. Really. Outer Realm's up. Go vote for Outer Realm. Writers of Future's up. Vote for them. Chasing Prophecy's up. UFO Undercover's up. The Centralist is up. Go vote. You got 2 days. Vote. I want.
Vote
Look,
like
I
it
told
means
y'all.
something.
I told y'all this last year, and I bitched all year because we didn't win. We got runner up. So runner ups are all great, but I want to win. So if we don't win, you're gonna have to hear me whine all effing year again. Do you really?
What do we get when we win, man? I want to hear what we get. What happens?
I don't know. We get a big trophy and recognition.
You get money, cash, weed.
No, I don't think they give you any cash. I don't think you
girls.
No, I don't think they give you any of that anyway. They might send
Fly
you some.
us
They might
out
send
to-
you some Persian boys over.
Will they fly us to Beijing?
I just told you I thought they might send you some Persian boys over, but other than that, I think
Persian?
you're on your own.
I make them work. I make them work. I got
Yeah,
jobs.
I bet you would. Anyway, we out of here, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see y'all next week and stay out of trouble. Oh my God.
Time to get out and vote. All right, everybody, it's time for you to get out and nominate your favorite podcasts. The show I want you to consider for the People's Choice Podcast Awards is Chasing Prophecy in the category of Society and Culture. Take a ride down the rabbit hole with Jenny Nicasio, Sean Kelly, and Jason Iampietro, where each episode brings a roundtable approach to conversations about supernatural phenomena, hidden secret societies, underground bunkers, magical conspiracies, the paranormal, cryptic creatures, aliens, ghosts, legends, and myths from around the world. Chasing Prophecy radio program dives into topics that entice the imagination and seduce the mind, some of which are taboo. Chasing Prophecy, where they discuss anything and everything beyond the scope of normal. Go to podcastawards.com to nominate Chasing Prophecy in the category of Society and Cultures. That's podcastawards.com. Take a moment and get out and vote.